That's why we'll keep the ball on the ground! Joe Savage! Go on, big Joe! Speech!
Wow.
How about you, mate, alright?
I'm good, mate, I'm good enjoying it.
Good to get him on, isn't it?
Oh,
It's a bit of a scoop for us getting Joe Savage. Not done an interview since you've left Hearts, have you?
Just one with the Heart standard, but you have to pay for that, so quite a lot of people didn't want to pay for it, to be fair. I had a lot of people saying, you get me the freebie of that? And I was like, I can't do that, so.
Well,
going to reveal the dirty.
We should charge for this one.
we should charge for this one. How you paid for an episode, innit? For the jam
Can't wait to find out all the dirt on Hearts a day, can you? Oh, it's gonna be fucking.
What are you hoping to get?
Don't want to just have a bit of dirty laundry.
Name a name that you want. Proper dirt.
Budge.
Talk about that. He texted me after the game yesterday saying, Si's wanting to lift up the road, want to take him home. So I was like, I know, buddies, I'll get you the main front door. It was only him standing there wanting to lift.
No, it's shite, mate, honestly.
Weren't you going to give him at that point when I messaged? Genuinely, you were?
No, wasn't it?
You were.
I was staying out all night. That was the
You said
plan.
to me, message Andy.
For yourself.
No, you didn't.
You enjoyed that hospitality yesterday,
That
wee
was
man?
good, mate. It was great setup, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you what I didn't like. So I've told him I'll give him a lift, and I'm expecting for him to be outside the front door. He's fucking standing outside the Celtic dressing room, talking to all the Celtic players.
Mate, he's pathetic. He's like, Jink, you could go and speak to Brendan Rodgers. You could go and speak to the players.
Honestly.
He brought his fucking autograph book, man.
I'm standing there, I've scud my car keys, man, while he's talking to the Celtic players after they've just scudded his free
Mate, honestly, I would have talked this.
Mate, it was bottles of Peroni. He's like, to the woman, can I get a wee bit of lime cordial in mine? He's pouring lime cordial in a bottle of fucking Peroni.
Mate, I like you because you slaughtered that saying 10 tops. You're not a fan of that, are you?
No,
I
I'm
think
not a
that's beautiful, mate.
Yeah.
So we touch a lemonade just to tap you a beer. Oh.
You're
But
not
do
a
you know what he's
drinker,
bad for?
What?
He wants to be pursued as a man of the people and all that
No, I don't.
hospitality straight away. Hospitality ticket.
So you're not in with the away crowd, we're not in with the fans?
No, we weren't really in with the fans.
No, but we're in the fan, like, it's a glass box, but the fans are there. And
So you're
you can
not
see-
in with the fans?
No,
So
you're
it's
not
a
with the
Divide
fans.
then,
aye.
we're better than you type thing.
He kept going, why do you keep looking at me? You're like, don't look at me, you kept saying the fans. Well, I talked about abuse for body-like supporters, man. Half-time walking out. Players are on the pitch, so I'm let out. So everyone's there, it's quiet, and some guy just shouts, Si Ferry, you're a fucking helmet. The full place starts laughing, mate.
How have you responded to that?
Just gave a thumbs up. Like that.
I watched the highlights.
We were good, mate.
Aye, you were good.
Born in a good team. Well set up.
Couple of right good goals you scored as well. I tell you what though, let's call a spade a spade. I know you said brilliant, but Falkirk's a nightmare draw.
You couldn't have got a harder draw, could you?
It's a good draw for the name and scale of it, but for me, you want more winnable ties.
Do you know what the best thing about it is, mate? I done a day in the life of Falkirk last week, right? This is before the draw's obviously been made, so me and McGlynn are tight, so I'm like talking to him, then I was like, do you mind if I came in the analysis, John? And he's like, you can come in, but I don't want the cameras in to see what I'm wanting for my team and all that. So mate, I've basically just sat through the phone now. Know exactly where he wants his right back to go, where he wants his left back to go now. So I texted him yesterday, he's like, I can't, what's the chances of that, man?
He's not going to change everything now, isn't he?
100%, he's got, here's a pet peeve, bought Frankie a new phone. He didn't put a fucking plug in a new phone now.
Nah, you need to buy that separate, didn't you?
Why?
I know.
You come up with some cracker pet peeves, mate. I feel I always agree with him.
So he gets the phone, he's not had a phone for like 2 weeks, he's trying to run this business that he's got a fit boss tip, he's desperate to get, he's like, there's no fucking plug in the...
Does the wee man get his own business?
It's his business.
Fucking brilliant, isn't it?
He's want to buy Wild Thing off you.
That's done.
He's going to take over failing businesses.
That's enough. 12-year-old to get my business.
Done well. 10 Hags away, lads.
Ah, brilliant.
Seen it.
What's your reaction to
Had
it?
to go, but time.
Be interested to see who they get. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Be
Well,
interested
they're
to see who
talking
they
about
get.
Billy Dodds, isn't they? Dodds at the end of the season.
Well,
isn't
I think it makes Man U look worse, the fact that they've sacked him now, when they had the chance to do it in the
Yeah,
summer,
yeah,
and there's more options a manager's available, and it gives a new manager a full pre-season to sign players, style of play. The fact they've done it after 10 games, who are they going to get?
Do you think that Ange would be in the conversation?
Nah, no.
Nah.
I think we
No
done
chance?
Nah.
No, I wouldn't say no chance, but...
We style of play that do you think it suits Man United? The way they want to get back to?
He's also come out and said he's a Liverpool fan as well, isn't he?
So he
Grown
did.
up, so
That's
that might...
right,
that
aye.
might
Well,
affect
okay,
him.
Sam, he'd give Ange the Man United job, he's a Liverpool fan.
Would you not?
Do you think Man U've got a better squad than Tottenham? Because I don't.
No,
I think
I don't like
Tottenham's got a
Man
better
U
squad than
squad.
Man U.
Don't like them.
Historically, Dan Ashworth likes English managers. If you go through his sort of career.
Southgate's a fucking
Can it be
Celtic.
Southgate?
Southgate or Potter, that's the two I'm thinking.
Southgate's a
Southgate's maybe his mate, isn't he?
Aye,
So is he the equivalent to you at Man United, Dan Ashworth?
aye, but paid a lot more probably, to be fair to
I'd
him.
imagine so.
Any other names? Do you know who they should have got? Flick by Barca
How else he done it?
in the summer, mate.
They could have
We
got
were talking about it yesterday, didn't we?
I wonder if
Chat
he'll
about
try
it.
and get Eddie Howe. I
That
wonder.
wouldn't inspire me either, though, really.
Yeah, no, I
would you?
don't. But I just wonder if he thinks maybe the way it's going at Newcastle.
9 academy graduates.
Bay Barca.
Fucking amazing.
Incredible, mate. I'm going to read you a few fans' pet peeves. I want your take on it. I think this is really good. Here's my pet peeve, mate. When clubs put up pictures of old players and somebody comments underneath it, get them on the pitch. They would at least show some proper enthusiasm. Guy's 65.
Who is it?
It's a Ranger, old Rangers. Derek. Right, we'll get into Joe now. Joe, what are you up to now since you've left Hearts?
So, set up a consultancy brokering business. If you ask me what does that mean, it basically means I'm not a football agent, but I'm hoping to get in around clubs, agents, speak to them, see what they need, and see if I can be like a middleman, connect them to a team, connect them to a club, another agent, maybe Scotland, England. Like to think I've got contacts all over the world, so I'm hoping that it can be successful. I've only started the last month or so.
Would you bump Aldo to go with him?
I don't think
Great
so, no.
question. If he came in and says, I've got you a move for,
I've been with Aldo since I was 16.
you'd bump him for, wouldn't you?
No loyalty, innit? That's an interesting one though, because like guys that have been in your position don't tend to really like agents because they do obviously
So powerful.
take a lot of money off of clubs, don't they?
Yeah,
So
they're so powerful. Whether people like it or not, they're so powerful. They've got players, they've got managers, they know all the connections, they know all the chief executives, the owners to get into. Look at a lot of people that try and do the investments and things like that, buying clubs and then they put their own guys in. A lot of that's down to an Aldo or somebody like that, knowing that guy and saying, put him in there, he goes in there, and then for there
they also know what other boys are on as well, which I think hard at times.
Like Jorge Mendes, the relationships he's got with people and people trusting him to say, going in. I think Aldo's kind of associated with him, isn't he? So it's some person to be associated with, to be fair.
What about you two? We used tight at Hearts. Somebody says you were the double twister champions.
They look.
Just see when he goes in these tangents, just leave him. You know what I mean?
Beat Vargas and
let him
Ambudge in
do
the
it.
final. Somebody said.
I don't even know what that means.
Do you miss it at Hearts, mate?
I probably do. See, it's the games you miss. It's actually the victories when you win. Like Monday to Friday's actually the hard part for me. Getting to the Saturday was you're hoping like when you go there. To be fair, towards the end it was probably praying for a victory and hoping not to get beat because the abuse you would take if you lost a game or whatever. But no, I do miss it.
Would you take?
Oh, I got a lot of abuse. Listen, we all got abuse.
What was the worst you got abuse-wise?
Oh, I get called every name under the sun.
What's he laughing at?
No, baldy, fucking wanker, fat. You name it, every name under the sun.
What was that for fans?
Aye.
That was your man, wasn't it?
Is that when you're sitting at the game?
Oh, aye.
With your family?
There's I've got again so many stories to tell that.
Come on,
when you're playing I'll tell you, the best one for me, right, was we were playing Dundee United. I think we started. It was the season we came back up. We went to Dundee United. It was in August.
We battered them.
We battered them. We were really good in the game. Went to 2-0. We scored the Boise misses the penalty, but scores the rebound. So probably the game starts and there's where they put you behind the goal, the director's box at Dundee United, and the Dundee United fans and hospitality are behind you. So I've got Ann Budge, Andrew McKinley, Gary Locke, and Lockie's a bit of a boy to be fair to him. So I've got Lockie and that's sitting beside me, and I'm sitting beside Lockie. The game starts and the Dundee United fans are keen out, all the Hearts fans at tight, right? So they're calling ball to this and shouting all these names. So I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, and then 20 minutes into the game, John Suter gets on the ball and it's baldy prick. It's a bit interesting. Stolpies get a full head of hair. Andy Halliday gets the ball, baldy wanker.
Yeah, oh no, that's right.
So me and Lockie are going, what's happening here? Next minute, Michael Smith gets the ball. Oh, you baldy prick, get the fuck. So I turn round and three of them are just growling at me. So quickly established, they're coming for me. So anytime any Hearts boy get the ball, just fucking baldy this, baldy that, fat this, baldy. And so
bad part of my
honestly, so I'm sitting just listening. It gets to about the 80th minute and it's the best line I've ever heard. It was going once, going twice, going bald. Slaps me in the head. So I'm like, what the fuck's this? So Lockie being the boy that is, Lockie's like, he's ready for it. So I turn right to the boys and I'm like, to be fair, it's funny. Two of them are like laughing with me. The other boy's like, fuck you looking at? You fucking face the front, you. And I'm like, all right. He's like, I'll fucking have you. And I'm like,
what was that, Dundee United fan?
Dundee United fan. He's like, fucking face the front, you prick. So, to be fair, Lockie's like, who are you talking to? So I'm like, Lockie, just face the front. We then score the second goal, right? And And I got up and I'm like to him, I'm going to dance in front of the camera, and I'm like to the guy, oh yeah, beauty, doing that to him. And he's like, I'll fucking have you after the game. Come here, you, get me down the street, I'll get you down the street out there. And I'm like, and Lockie's like, oh fucking, I no bother, mate, no bother. So I'm just sitting there like, wow. And that was me in the Premier League with Hartsford. That was like within 5 games or something like that.
I'd take Lockie's back up, would you?
You can think Lockie could go, couldn't he?
He's got probably everybody in Edinburgh behind him, to be fair.
He's got the face of a fighter, Lockie. He looks like he's been in a million fights.
I love Lockie bits, to be fair. I knew, sitting beside him, I was like, Lockie, he'll
what about Hearts fans, so like, for your in team, would that be bad?
Aye.
Any examples of that?
Successful for the most part, though. Really.
Well, I'd like to think, but try to think of games. So we played Fiorentina. Did you play? we get popped off the park, right? So I'm sitting in front of the director's box, and they're excellent. Fiorentina. Used to talking about earlier on coaching and that, like their rotations and patterns of play. We just couldn't get
after half an hour.
We just couldn't get the ball off them. We just couldn't get the ball off them. So I'm sitting at half time, and just as I'm about to walk up, Savage, you prick! What is it? Here, down the front of the thing with the director's box. Fucking sort this out.
Sort this out.
I'm like, it's not good enough. We're meant to be having a go at these types of teams here. I was like, come on, guys, man. They finished 7th in Italy last year. That's a top team. Don't give a fuck. Fucking sort this out. Get down and tell him to fucking change this so we can try and have a go at them in the second half.
Wow.
That's the maddest I've seen Robbie at half time.
What is it?
Robbie went fucking busy after half time. He picked up a clipboard and just fucking launched it across the.
But could you have done it, and or were they just that good?
They were really good. But to be fair, we're probably quite passive, and they made 3 changes at half time, and it was 1-8 second half. So
that's what
win the second half. Man, I just love that shout. Make sure you win the second. Did you have much to deal with dealings with the players? And were you capable of doing that? Going and speaking to the manager at half time and getting your input?
No, I'd never do that. I'd never ever step over. That's not my job, in my opinion. I would never ever cross the line that way. That the manager sets up the team, coaches the team, trains the team, does what he does, picks the team. He's in charge of that. I don't agree with any sporting director that thinks he can go in and interrupt team talks or whatever. And I had breakfast with the players and things like that, but I would never say I was close to them, because at the end of the day, eventually somebody's going to have to come to me about a new contract, and I'm going to have to say, well, I don't think he gets paid that, because I don't think that's what he's worth, and that can annoy some players. So I always tended to just, I had good relationship, shake hands with people, say hello to them, good morning to them, but I'd never really try and befriend any of them and build that sort of relationship. I don't think you should.
And a fan pulled you up for throw-ins as well.
An AGM, throw-ins and substitutes at the AGM 2 days before we were due to play Celtic. They were getting it tight, and he says, "Oh, Savage." So that's what they called me, Savage.
Not even Joe, just Savage.
Not even Joe, not even Mr. Savage. Listen, it could be worse. It could be how baldy and fucking. Because I got that a lot, to be fair. Now I accept I'm follically challenged. I get that, but fucking hell, what do you want me to do? So he stands up and he goes, "I've got a question." What's that? He says, "We're talking about substitutions and throw-ins." And I knew what I was going to do here, so I thought, I need to defend the manager here, I can't go against him. So I was like, well, what is it? He says, throw-ins are shite, throw-ins are rubbish, we always seem to give the ball away. Well, I don't agree with that. I think at times when you go a throw-in, sometimes they might press you and they might get it, but other times you can throw back to centre-back, play out the other side. That's quite a simple throw-in. So he kind of accepted that, but then he says substitutions, his subs are all wrong. So this is Stephen Naismith, and his subs are wrong, doesn't have a clue what he's doing. I says, well, no, I disagree. He says, the way I look at substitutions is, if he comes on and he impacts the game and you win the game, he's made an impact. Sure, clearly he's done something, it's the right decision. If he comes on and you lose the game, yeah, you could argue that the sub's not helped. Pure rage and shaking his head at me. He's like, no, that's no right. And that AGM was off the scale, to be fair. It was something else. We just kept getting attacked. Question after question after question, and it was just try to attack you because the team wasn't doing that well at the time, but it wasn't as if we were terrible, it wasn't as if we were sitting bottom of the league or that. We were not probably.
Was this the start? This wouldn't have been the start of this season?
No, last season. Was it? Last season.
Right, we're going to come into that more throughout the show, but we'll talk about Alan Brazil interview. What a guy, mate.
But how was it, Si?
So see, when he first came in, I was like, you having a drink? He's like, no, I'm not going to have a drink. I was like, I'm going to have a beer, and he's like, you're not right, fuck it, get us a white wine. Mate, free glass of white wine, mate, you just fucking guzzling them, man. His face is like a tomato, mate, honestly.
Does he do that?
He loves a drink though, doesn't he?
Does he do that every day, Si?
Every day, mate.
So tell us, see after he's showing the radio, what does he do?
He stays right next to Talk Sport. So he just goes into the hotel after Talk Sport, sits at the bar, drinks all day, goes for lunch at 2 with somebody, goes and drinks again, goes for dinner at 7 with somebody else, drinks again, goes to his room, and and then he's up again at 6 for the radio.
I've seen McCoy talk about how, like, say it starts at 6, he's in at 1 minute to 6 every morning without fail.
He'll
He's
just read
never
the
15 minutes early or something.
He'll just scan the paper on his way in. He'll just look at the paper quickly to see what he's got, and then he just jumps on and fucking does it.
How long
has
he done that for? How long's he been in there?
How long was it he said he'd done it for? 20 years. His story about getting sacked is sensational, man.
Don't tell us it.
I want to watch it tonight. His story about getting sacked is sensational. Make sure you watch it. The link's in the description.
I'm actually really looking forward to this one.
And you know, you meet somebody like that, he's a proper good guy, man. You want to sit about after it and hear another bottle of wine.
You could tell he's a character.
Some guy was phoning him that he's meant to be meeting. He's like, Eamon, you're breaking up, Eamon. Can't hear you. Just because you wanted to sit and hear another glass of wine.
Is that one of your favourite?
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Top man, really good. Right, we were at the game yesterday, Slaney. What's your take on Motherwell v Celtic?
By the way, I thought you had a great game. I really did, and I thought Motherwell started excellent. No, I didn't. I genuinely did, because I mean that shift we were watching it, we had a tactical eyes on, didn't we? And we were looking, and it's very difficult. The side of down is very difficult, almost running everywhere. But I thought for the first 20 to 30, I thought it was evenly matched. And if Motherwell had 2 or 3 big chances, one fires it across, and then Miller obviously hits the bar and the post. If one of them went, it could have been a different game, but we were saying that if you don't take the chances into Celtic, eventually I think they're going to come back, which they did. But I thought Miller were really good.
I thought your setup was good off the ball, eh? Just force it to fullbacks, wasn't it? Really forced.
First 30 minutes I thought it worked, but then credit to Celtic because they changed obviously, and that was it. They sort of gained control, and I thought first 30 minutes we were really good, but then I thought second half Celtic were excellent in the second half. But it's like you said, you play Celtic, you need a bit of luck, and you need to make your A game for as much as you possibly can. And I think if we take one of the chances we get in the first 30 minutes, you've got a chance. But
see, when it goes through, were you sitting thinking, I said that on the cooking show during the game, or that didn't come at your head about it being tight?
A wee bit, but at the same time, I think they played well enough. I just think Celtic are obviously full of quality players.
Andy, what did you find really hard to get? What Celtic are really good at? Was there anything you struggled with?
Well, I thought the big change was I thought we tried to press them. I think you could probably tell for our Tigers was we were trying to let them go to the inverted fullback and then lock them down one side. Yeah. And I thought it worked really well in the first 30 minutes because Celtic kept trying to play down the same side and we would nick it and attack. But I think Brendan Rodgers even mentioned after the game was so after that he stressed the importance of just switching the play quickly. And again, you talk about being outside of the diamond. You're coming narrow into Hatate when it goes to Valley, I'm pressing. And if they're switching it like 2-3 times, you're just doing this for obviously 2-3 minutes. So it's then harder that when you can actually go and press that you're going with a proper intensity.
Because Lennon just jumps a wee bit early to Johnson for the first and it leaves the space for McCowan. That's what they're wanting to happen, isn't it? Where if he just stays, forces it to Johnston, then go to the ball. But that's how you can set up as good as you want. But see when McCowan can just put the ball by somebody and score.
But again, that's what take nothing away for the finish. An unbelievable finish. But you're talking about when you play Celtic, you need that wee bit of luck. He takes a through ball to somebody, it hits one of your boys' heels and falls right in front of his path, the edge of the box, and you've got obviously somebody with McCowan's quality. You think this is in.
Did you watch it, Joe?
I did. I thought.
Did you make it?
Similar. I thought Celtic they just go through emotions to start with, don't they? It's as if they build themselves into the game and then they kind of work you out, figure you out, and then start to. They always find the good players in the good positions, certainly in the final third, don't they? And it ends up hurting you. And what I like about Celtic, I think everybody is the same as. They've got that change. If Kyogo's not working, they can bring Ida on or Ida. Kuhn, I think Kuhn's been probably the best player in the league this year, to be fair to him. Nicholas Kuhn. Deacon comes on. McCowan, again, he was one that we were watching at Hearts thinking we might have had a sniff at a chance at.
Why did you know?
Probably because we heard that Celtic were hovering. We heard that they were in and around it, that considering it but not considering it. And then, to be fair, I think we felt, I wouldn't say our midfield three were better than Luke, because I think, Luke's a good player, but I just think it probably cost us a lot of money as well. It ended up being like £1 million. I don't think we can afford that at Hearts. Certainly at the time we couldn't have.
Can Hearts not afford £1 million?
Probably not. I think if they can keep continuing to sort of finish third and getting the European group stage, that helps. It helps the budget and whatnot. But at that time, and again, look, he's 26 years of age, so we were probably in a position where we wanted to try and sign between 20 and 24 project players, assets, develop them. Because I think we had a good core of experienced players like Andy and Shanks and Xander Clarks and things like that. Craig Gordon's around that would help the younger ones. But not to say that Luke wouldn't have come in and improved, is because he's ended up getting a good move to Celtic, to be fair to him.
You're like a wee boy when you heard James, he was tapping, didn't you?
Magic.
You went for a coffee last week, how did that go?
We had a wee chat about everything.
A wee gossip column there,
it gave me fuck all.
Were you asking a lot?
I asked everything.
What sort of questions were you asking?
the dirt, who's the poisons in the dressing room, anybody we need to get out for Celtic to be successful, but no, it gave us nothing. But I thought, see yesterday especially, I thought Luke McCown was excellent, but do you know who really stood out for me was Lennon Miller.
Yeah,
I thought he was excellent yesterday.
That pass in the second half to the wide player was what a way to pass, mate.
And then obviously the strike off the post and the bar. I thought he looked, that's the best. I've only seen him a couple of times live. That was the best I've seen him.
I tell you what, it does show you as well for how good McGregor is in the SPL. Because I thought Bernardo, although I think he's a great 8. And that sitter, mate, he should just bounce that first time, shouldn't he? Like McGregor, I just
watched that back as well, man. Like,
that's a chance.
AP, obviously, AP, he's just got to hit it first time. Like, Schmeichel's basically out his goal and it rolls into his path with his left foot, and he's got half a goal just to hit it into half time. Like, you've got a 1-on-1 situation. You shouldn't end up with a 30-yard strike at goal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was such a big chance to obviously go 1-up in the game. I thought Alistair Johnson was by far and away Celtic's best player.
Mate, he's a machine,
by far and away.
You might have said it, didn't you?
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying a word.
You kept throwing that up to me yesterday. You're Tavernier's better than him.
Do you?
But I tell you what, though.
That's another one I've got wrong, maybe.
I think it was a fair argument to say that he probably didn't offer a lot going forward to Celtic last year, but he's massively improved that as well. Again, like late runs, inverted runs all the time, getting into the box for wide left crosses. But just the wee slip passes he plays as well. You're talking about that one with Lennon. There was a couple as well where we jumped maybe a wee bit early, and he's just playing a weighted one into the 8 just to run on it, the angle. Yeah. I thought it was by far and away.
See the second goal, Andy, do you dig anybody out for that?
Sparrow needs to be dug out, doesn't he?
Because he runs inside, didn't he? And
aye, we watched it today. Again, kind of came from Celtic switch it about 4 times before actually Valley puts the cross in. So we're switching it, and then we end up, before it switches into the last time, we end up all really narrow. And Maeda makes a run. You watch it back, Maeda makes a run for the wide area all the way into the box, and Marv, who's your wing back, tracks him the full way, which is kind of what he was expected to do. Valley ends up in a load of space to obviously cross it, and we kind of drop the runner for the edge of the box. And
Valley's getting better, isn't he?
Yeah, Valley is getting better. Very good technical, isn't he?
Again, talking about Barcelona earlier on, he's come through that academy, isn't he, as well? So.
Yeah. He can play. Edinburgh Derby, let's talk about it. You thought Hibs should have won?
Aye, listen, unfortunately my skybox isn't working, so I watched the highlights a few times.
Why is it? And the heating's not working.
The heating's not working. I think it's with the wind. It's been recently, it's knocked off the signal, so I've just caught it on Sportscene. For me, watching it, Hibs should have been out of sight with chances. Gale misses 2. He's got to score the 2. He does. And then Triantis should make it 2-0. He shouldn't put the game out of sight. And yet again, I don't know what it is. I mean, do I feel sorry from David Gray because of the amount of last minute goals? I don't know if it comes down to mentality thing, but when Alan Forrest is, I was going to call him James Forrest, when Alan Forrest is winning a header at that time of game, but I look through Hibs' results and the amount of last minute goals they've conceded, they could be in a lot
do you think they conceded a lot of last minute goals though because they didn't keep the ball, mate?
There's aye.
See when they're up, mate, they didn't keep the ball. They've got no style of play on the ball. They just continually gave Hearts the ball back, mate.
I agree with you. Hibs probably did have the better chances in the game, but you couldn't watch that and tell me Hibs are a better team than Hearts.
No, Hearts had on the ball, didn't they? I like Hearts on the pitch.
Hearts had much more control of the game. Yeah. You're right though, Hibs had a few right good chances, but I think over the course of the season you would be quite confident in saying Hearts will finish above Hibs for what you watched in that game.
A lot of the chances are for set pieces, aren't they? Free kicks, corners, throw-ins.
You also talk about making an asset the week before. I said in the Recruitment show that Edinburgh Derby, I think it's got a lot more quality than what people say. It's how many turnovers, like unforced errors. Again, I thought Hearts were a lot more in control in the game.
In that game, but they're frantic.
They're frantic, but they're just so much. I do think they've improved a lot over the last sort of 4, 5, 6 years in terms of like. I think the quality in it's been good, really good in certain games. But again, you'll get the odd one where it's. You know that both teams just don't want to lose. And I think that looked like that to me yesterday. I just think neither team wanted to lose, so it was like a bit frantic at times in certain areas. There was a couple of mad moments in the game.
Hoylett was brilliant, by the way.
Hoylett's very good, mate. He's very good, mate, in the 10, wasn't he? Yeah, he was the one player that looked like he was...
Mikey Stewart battered Miller.
But you said he was outstanding.
First 2 minutes, he's brilliant.
What? You said he was outstanding?
Against Celtic, first 2 minutes.
First 2 minutes, he's Celtic. Watch him every 2 minutes. It's
there again, Tommy. How is he not touch tight to Wilson at that throne?
100%.
I was buzzing for James Wilson scoring that goal. Buzzing.
Andy, he's the best player we've played against in the Lowland League since I've been involved in it. We played him last year at Spartans Ground, right? We went man for man out of the pitch with them because we thought young kids will get them a kick at and we'll go win. Mate, he was a joke, man.
How good are we talking here, Si?
Sensational. He's top, mate.
Well, see what I will say is though, right? Like you talk about, obviously we all want to see younger academy graduates playing football in Scotland, young Scottish boys, right? But he turned in a big move at 16, you'll know about it. And see when you see a young boy turned in such a big move, because I'll be honest, see if I got the move that he was getting at 16, I'd find that very hard to turn down.
100%.
But see when they turn it down, you then think, please get your opportunity then, like do something and prove that you've made the right decision, and it's came, because that's 2 goals in 2 games for a kid at 17, mate.
Do you know what I loved about him, mate? Never even went and celebrated, just ran and got the ball, mate.
First thing I thought, unbelievable. Go and grab the net.
And I love playing Spittle, right? And I think he's a top, but what is he doing knocking the ball away? He's like, everyone calm down. He just fucking scored it.
I love that as well, mate. 17-year-old scoring a goal on that, and your first reaction is to get the ball at the back of the net.
I'd have been right in that. I'd been right in the fan scale.
You've got a great text these damn it.
I know James is. It was one that, touching on what Andy says, it was one that we had to work really hard to keep. A lot of interest. Both Old Firm were trying to get him, and down south, a lot of the big clubs down south were trying to get him.
Man U that was a big one.
Arsenal as well. I think Man City were in there as well. I think Brighton were in there as well. Leeds United, Aston Villa.
Man City was the one I heard.
A lot of these big guys were interested in him. And yeah, he got a nice text from his dad, because we took him out for dinner. Myself, Robbie, and Frankie McAvoy, the academy director at the time, took the mum and dad out.
Where'd you take them?
Oh, somewhere.
Nando's, wasn't it?
Nando's.
I loved that Nando's.
Somewhere, where was it? Somewhere in Falkirk that they knew, because their family's from Linlithgow. So somewhere in Falkirk that we knew.
Was it the Cotton House, the Chinese?
No, it wasn't a Chinese, it was an Italian.
Italian,
I can't remember what it was. And yeah, his dad texted me just saying, look, you and Robbie sold us a dream that we believed in. Because we wanted at Hearts, it's one of the things that we felt we needed to do better was, not lose all the younger players down south or to Celtic or Rangers, but show them there was a pathway to get into the first team, show them that they could, if they performed and they played well, you can get in. And I think Robbie started it, and to be fair, Naisy, he gave James his debut and things like that, and James has now obviously kicked on and scored. So
there's a few other crackers. I really like Sandilands. Was he on the bench? Somebody said he was on the bench for the first time.
Yeah, he was on last. I know he was on it last week. Callum's just that.
Adam Forrester's young boy. He played.
Yeah,
he played the last year.
Forrester's good. Yeah.
Fuck man, run Callum, just hitting the box all the time.
Who's Sandilands?
Yeah,
brilliant at it.
Excellent, isn't he?
He's so quick for a centre midfielder, isn't he?
See what I'll say about James Wilson, right? You always talk about, like, I always say to young boys when they train, what I always feel with young boys when they train is, you don't even need to stand out, just don't ruin a session.
Yeah.
Just fit in. And see, when you fit in, you'll then start to build your own confidence, then you'll really start to see, every time you played a bounce game at Hearts, James Wilson would score. The first team bounce game, I'm telling you.
Wow.
See, like that top rugby pitch, every time you played a friendly or a bounce game, he'd score. And I thought, fucking hell, if you're 17, you're scoring every time the first team have a bounce game, you've got a right chance. And
he's a brilliant mentality, you can tell that, James.
And by the way, he talks as if he's about 40-year-old, mate.
I seen that in his interview, he seems so
Yeah.
See, like talking to him on a day-to-day, like pure intelligent boy.
Yeah.
What did Robbie Neilson order at dinner?
What question?
It's a great question.
What did you order? You know what, in Bolognese doing your shirt in front of James Wilson's guy.
It would have been a pasta dish.
You need to play it safe for that, mate.
It would have been a pasta dish. I'm sure Robbie, I'm actually going to say, I think he ordered a salad of some sort with fish.
Oh, fuck off, Robbie. I'd have went straight to Man United. He ordered a salad. He's fucking off.
Fuck off. Robbie looked after himself, to be fair.
He's in good nick,
yeah, he looked after himself.
Could you confirm or deny that Robbie Neilson plays like the violin or something?
I know nothing about
that.
that.
A classical? Have you heard this? Him and Craig Levine?
No, he is, genuinely.
About
I don't know, is it a violin? I thought it was
a trumpet or something like that. And Craig Levine goes up with a trombone.
See, I know it's
no, mate, I don't know if this is...
Robbie Neilson can confirm.
You're saying Robbie Neilson plays a trumpet and Levine plays a trombone and they're in some sort of band or something like that? What are you talking about?
It's like no.
Jake's get a yo-yo. Jake's get a yo-yo stuff.
If he can deny or confirm or deny that,
that'd be great. So Jake Wilson will go to the top?
James, I think he's on the road, to be thinking he's on the path. I think he just needs to keep getting... Next one's the start, isn't it? Start for Hearts and then sort of deliver for there. And I think looking at how Neil Critchley's going to play, there's going to be a chance for him if Vargas maybe needs a rest or whatever.
Up front.
Play alongside Shanks.
Yeah.
So,
well, you've got Liam Boyce in the bench, mate.
What a player.
17-year-old and he's coming over Liam Boyce. You know what I mean? So it's...
And then impact in the game, scoring.
Aye.
Yeah. You see enough Hibs then that they'll definitely stay up this year, Hibs?
Aye, I do. 100%. I mean, I look at the amount of goals they've conceded late on. Would you put that down to anything else? I know you're saying they're not keeping the ball enough. Would you put that down? Can that be a mentality thing? Because there seems to be so many.
It's hard to say.
I would say, see, two years are not at Hearts anymore, but when we were at Hearts, I always thought that when the games were coming up, the Edinburgh Derbies were coming up, you'd look at our dressing room, look at Hibs' dressing room, and I always thought our boys just knew what it meant not to get beat. Even if they didn't play well, they just wouldn't get beat. They would just make sure we dug in. Like, remember the last game of the season, if they'd beat us, they would have went into fourth in the league and got to the European game. We went down to 10 men after Alex Cochrane gets sent off.
25 minutes.
For 70 minutes of the game, we defended and listened. They battered us. We couldn't get the ball off them. But our boys just made sure, don't get beat. Do not lose the derby. And I think that's the difference. I can't speak for being in Hibs' dressing room, but looking at our dressing room when I was there at Hearts, I think I lost once in some 14 games. And I'm not the manager at Hearts, but as a sporting director at Hearts, we lost once. And it was Naisie's first game in charge. And that was Naisie trying to put his stamp on things. But I think our mentality just was better than Hibs. And that's not trying to be disrespectful to Hibs, but we just always expected, we're turning up here, we won't get beat.
How do you think Hibs changed that mentality?
Well, Neil Lennon touched upon it yesterday.
He was good talking about it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said that was the thing, that he thought they were a bit of a boy band.
He used to call him a boy band.
Yeah.
That's Lewis Stevenson doing Neil Lennon by the...
No, that's not American.
Is that China? That's tried it American.
I'm horrific at accents, so don't
Go on, Geese,
no chance. No, honestly, no chance. Horrific, man.
Lenny talked about
it. Meme that if I'd done that, it'd be all over the place.
Was Lenny good talking about
excellent.
it?
Just said that's what he thought he had to change that sort of. And to be fair, his record was really good as the Hibs manager. So Robbie Neilson was brilliant at that. Robbie got it. He absolutely got it. Having come through Hearts Academy, being a player and done the things that he'd done, he just got, do not lose the derby. You don't play well, just don't lose the derby. And
you'd expect David Gray to have that, wouldn't you, with the fact that he's played with Hibs for so many years?
He might, because I didn't think, I agree, I thought Hibs had the better chances, but I think if Hearts don't have the midweek game, Hearts won that game comfortably yesterday. And I think they've the better legs in the team, and they've got probably better individuals in my opinion, but Hibs, I also think two of the chances that they had would have been offside.
Then Tynecastle one looked offside.
Yeah,
I've not seen
Tynecastle and Dwight Gale's header. I thought they would have been offside, and they're arguably the ones that you thought were the two best chances.
Brilliant when managers do that, innit? We had loads of chances and three of them were offside.
So that's how I looked at it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think Hearts created enough to win the game. And I think Neil will be probably disappointed that they could have done better, but after the week that they've had, it's a good point.
I like what he's doing. You can see clearly what he's trying to do with the two coming in off his side and the fullbacks going high, can't you?
And I think everyone talks about, if you're a team that wants to play for the back or build up for the back, you always talk about tempo, don't you?
Yeah.
His is more stay on the ball, invite pressure. Because that was the big thing that surprised me with Hibs. With Hearts having a midweek game, Hibs didn't really set out to press Hearts at home.
It's like halfway line, you started the press, wasn't it?
Front two just kind of sat off with the ball. And Hearts almost kind of played that cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse. They actually stayed in the ball and said, come press us. Because they wanted to invite the pressure to play through them. Yeah. So it made for a good watch that way. But again, it was quite scrappy at times, wasn't it, in terms of a game? You left in the summer, Joe, is that right?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Hearts started the season, which obviously led to Naismith?
Very surprised. But
what do you think went wrong?
I don't know. Do you know?
You leaving? Just say it, mate.
Probably. No, but looking at the squad, what was left and the players that they signed, in no way would I have thought they would have been fighting relegation. I know it's early in the season to be saying that, but I didn't think that. But again, I watched some of the games. In the Motherwell game, these guys were the better team. The 3-1 game, and then the Dundee United game, they huffed and puffed. So you're watching the games, you're thinking, come on. But what was crucial, I think what's crucial at Tynecastle, we score the first goal, it changes everything. The fans are right on your side and they help you in the back and they get you over the line. If you get to half time, and you've experienced this more than anyone, you get to half time, they would boo you. You're drawing nothing each, and you're like, we've maybe had 3-4 shots on target. We've been the better team, but they wouldn't be happy with that.
Did you have anything to do with the recruitment that came in this summer?
Yeah, so
you planned for that obviously last season.
We planned, so we Danda, Penrice, and Spittle. That was done.
Good bit of business, that, mate.
Getting them in early. We tried to get Danda in the January, but Ross County didn't want to sell. So, and listen, Jan ended up helping them stay in the league, so it's turned out to be good for them. And the other ones, like Salazar's not really hit the ground. Gerald Taylor's ended up getting injured. I didn't have anything to do with Boateng. I knew he was kind of on their list, but I was away by that point. I think he's been a good signing for them, to be fair.
So can I ask you this, because we've said this we've been quite critical. We thought on paper the recruitment was good, but they weren't playing in the positions that they were playing in the clubs previously before you brought them in. Mm-hmm. So do you sit with Naisy and go, if we bring Danda in, this is where he's going to play in this position, or are you just looking at it and going, Danda's doing really well for Ross County, we should go and get him?
No, when Steve and I would sit and speak about it, he would say that he would want to be fluid. So his idea was maybe like play a 4-2-3-1 and have Danda off the left and Spittles at 10, but they could drift and they could sort of swap with each other. And you'd Alan Forrest, you'd Vargas that could play off the right, and Oda. Because I don't get. I want to get this out. I'm glad we're on this because they say that Hearts have got no pace. Hearts have got pace. Alan Forrest is quick. Oda's quick. Vargas is quick. Musa Drama's quick. And I know Musa's not getting a game just now, but they're quick players now. You could turn around and say, well, maybe they're not. Why they're not getting a game? They might not be training well. They might have picked up niggly injuries like that. So there is pace in the Hearts team. There's definitely pace. It's just it might not have shown in the way they've played. But I think when we signed the players, we have these conversations. At the end of the day, Stephen would go through a 3-5-2 or a 4-2-3-1. He would flip, and I think that caught out a lot of teams last year and allowed us to win games where if it wasn't maybe working after 60 minutes, he would just completely flip it and go to a 3-5-2, and that's completely different for a 4-2-3-1. And you could see the teams going, right, how do we organise this? How do we work this? And then we'd end up scoring a goal through probably a wonder goal for Shanks, and then we would comfortably see it out. A big part of last year was because of Shanks' goals and just scoring out of nothing.
Did you see Naisy as going on to be a top manager? Like, did you see signs in him? Because obviously he finished third the year before, didn't he?
I think, I thought he would, see when he got the job for the B team, the first time, you could see signs of what he wanted to do and how he wanted to be as a coach. So, was it a bit too soon for him? You could probably argue there was a case to say getting the manager job at Hearts was a bit too soon, but to be fair, he then ends up going on, finishing third, getting to 2 semi-finals, and the record was frightening, to be fair. So, I think it's a harsh, and I get why they sacked him. You can't lose 8 games in a row at any team and expect to keep your job. So, but I think he can go again for sure. He's got a lot of good ideas, like you said earlier on. Like his coaching, his training sessions and that were excellent. So, I think what will be interesting to me what he does next.
What do you think what kind of club would Stephen Naismith go to next? If the next SPL job comes up,
he probably needs to be just a bit realistic in terms of what he can maybe go for and what he could maybe get, because again, I think I'm not even just saying this about Stephen Naismith, I'll say about anyone. I think your very, very first managerial job in Hearts is rare. I think so. Is it a top championship club? Is it somewhere that run about the airlines? But I've always said that I really enjoyed his training. I thought he had some great ideas, but again, maybe it was just that sort of lack of experience at certain things.
I would think Kilmarnock.
Like Kelly, if Dale was to move
on, I think he'd
of course, with that connection.
And
Boca.
No, I wouldn't take him. They wouldn't. No, just yet. But I think this season, he looked a bit lost. It seemed like he didn't know his best team, didn't know his best formation to play.
Well, it was funny on that, wasn't it? Because obviously Hearts have had a busy schedule this week. Did Critchley make many changes for Thursday? What were the changes?
Forrest was out, wasn't he?
Well, Danda came back in.
Alan Forrest went out.
So 1 or 2. So he's not making.
Kingsley went out.
Kingsley played that, so
went back in. Forrester went out, and went back in.
Yeah. Would you, again, with managers, would you get to have a say in terms of changes? And would you ever lend your opinion and go, maybe there's too many changes at certain times?
We would have a chat about that, but I didn't feel like that was my job to turn around and say Andy Halliday should be playing or Andy Halliday should be on the bench. That's not my job there.
What one would you have said to if you asked him? Bench.
Keep him playing. Listen, he loves scoring goals against Hibs, so just that was brilliant. He's the legend at Hearts for the goals he scored against Hibs.
You go,
so, what made him so good at Twister?
That'll be cut, fuck's sake.
And then Critchley, obviously, the appointment with the data.
Did they look into the sort of Tony Bloom?
Yeah, the algorithm. Yeah, they've got his. They've got a part. I think he's not. I think he's invested in the club in the sense that he gives them his algorithm to identify players, and it definitely played a part. Do
you like that?
I think so. I think it's good. Listen, you look at Tony Bloom's clubs, you look at Brighton, you look at USG, it's worked for them. They signed some players that nobody's ever heard of and then sell them for, Caicedo, the one that went to Chelsea. I mean, what was it, 115 million? Spent 4 million quid on him. That's unbelievable. So
Shanklin played on, didn't he? He said he was dug shite.
Beer
so
shot.
So
you could never see it.
No, could never see it.
Amazing,
I like him,
I like him.
But again, maybe does that fall into like the sort of data thing where maybe they're looking at like the amount of times he's passed forward?
Yeah.
Maybe the completion wasn't maybe as high as it was because he was younger. It's interesting, I think, with all the algorithm stuff. The only thing it does, I'm a bit confused about though, with the data led for Neil Critchley is his actual managerial record's not been unreal. Do you know what I mean? It's not been amazing.
So what do you think it would have been that they'd looked at then?
What have they based that on?
I think player development. If you look
young
at
players, fees,
players, in the first team.
And also, but like, the data can lead you. So we had data at Hearts, so we were never data led, we were data informed. So we would always use the data to inform our opinion, but it wouldn't mean that we would sign a player. And I think it's going to be slightly different. I think their algorithm that
it's Jim Jeffries' algorithm you were using, wasn't it?
You could say that, to be fair. Jim was at all the games, to be fair, so always hearing him saying play two up front, 4-4-2, bang it, go up.
That's my dad, man.
Is it your dad had played? How are you not playing two up
Just
front?
fucking play two up front for.
Yeah, a lot of teams are doing it now.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
So see that this sort of data obviously makes your job a lot easier now if you're getting this sort of information given to you.
But then it comes down to the relationships, doesn't it? Sorry. So you look at like Critchley, they would have had to have met Critchley, spoke to him and got a feel for him that good character, you're going to be able to manage the dressing room. We believe in what you're saying that you're going to do, you'll actually implement and do. So I think that Neil, by the looks of it and what I've heard from speaking to people, he's really good in the grass, really, really good, but a really good people person as well. People are liking him, they like the way he comes across, he's very calm.
Seems calm, mate. I'm just going to say that, he seems very calm.
So he's placid. And I think, listen, I think all the good coaches have got that switch in them when they need to, if they need to go and shout at you at half time and give you a wee bit at half time and do it to the right players. So I think he started well, isn't he? I would have been all for the algorithm because it's there to help you into it. It's there to give you something to work with. And I wouldn't have been saying, right, I'm just signing him because the algorithm says it, but I would have been saying, okay, he's identified him. Let's go and watch him. Let's go and get him more information on, do our due diligence, get character references, and then try to sign him for there.
I would feel as if I'd always need to see for myself.
You would need to see the player in the flesh. What's your algorithm at booking? Nice looking man, innit?
That's got you stunning. Got every day.
Have you ever like sat on Y-Scout?
No, never. It's meant to be unbelievable,
It's
isn't it?
mental, mate, aye.
So what you can watch any game in the world on Y-Scout, any player?
So see, at the start of the season, obviously Theo Bell was a penalty taker last year. Start of the season, I was like, I want to be on the penalties.
Right.
And Lennon said the same. He's like, I want to be on the penalties. So I was like, right, get Y-Scout. Like, well, we didn't ask at the time. He was like, right, I'll get Y-Scout out. Like, see your penalties. Mate, it showed me a penalty that I took for Middlesbrough, like reserves, 15,
Did it?
17 years ago. I was like, fucking hell.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Have you never used the training ground, not even if like a game, do you know what I mean?
Get his face. At the training ground?
Middlesbrough training ground.
Tony Mowbray's just standing behind the goal like that.
He's into all this analysis now.
I love it, mate. I love analysis. Fucking brilliant, mate.
See, if I was a coach, I'd be heavy analysis.
No, mate. Do you think you see watching a game, you didn't see on the side of the pitch?
I do back in the game, but I'm not having this new pass completion and all that.
No, I wouldn't look at pass completion.
That's something I don't like that stuff now.
Tactically,
it's brilliant. You'd love it, Slaney. It's just any information.
Just us doing it together.
I'm sure you'll have your clips on it for when you play.
Can you get it on your phone?
It's over there, my phone.
Mate, that'd be unbelievable.
Send us a file or something.
I will be able to, because it's that good. But what it does is it's goals and assists, but it's more than that. It can give you any crosses that you've put in, accelerations, anything that we identify as something that if I want to sign Paul Slaney, I'll say, right, how quick is he? Right, okay, let's look at
who's doing this?
It's an Italian company that does it, and it's been around for years. It's brilliant.
No, do you know what I was going to say? That would be perfect for you know what? We teaser out there.
What?
If you've got a file of Paul Slane's Y-Scout.
Oh, for
that'd be good for you know
for what's coming ahead.
No,
when you get that Elgin game with Clyde where you came off high blood pressure.
I'm lying down on that pitch.
Are you lying down?
After 4 minutes.
Oh, Joe, please try and find that. Clyde, what year would it have been, Slaney?
2015.
2015, right.
15.
No, Y-Scout's brilliant. Honestly, every football club in the world will be using Y-Scout. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. Is there any ones you really want to see back?
Games.
That you've done something that maybe you don't want anybody to see?
Dundee Aberdeen at Pittodrie in the Scottish, in the league.
Joe, can you send me that one?
I come on with draw for each.
How long did you come on for?
8 minutes. I was actually counting my win bonuses as I was coming on my head. I was buzzing, I was getting an extra 600 quid in my wage at my fucking. Within 2 minutes, they were 3-3 and I was panicking like.
Did you have a mullet?
Do you know when I have a fat mullet, mate? Fat with a mullet. See when you come in, you feel everyone's staring at you, mate.
Did you play a part in the goals that you conceded?
I was fucking pish, mate.
Was it?
Kept getting the ball.
Well, yeah, wow.
Really, that was a bad.
You embarrassed?
What about the link though? Aberdeen at the weekend.
Magic. Can you go all the way? That's why you're the best, mate. Can you go all the way, Andy?
How long are we going to ask that for you?
Back to they're flying.
I really like how he plays, mate. Again, see how high Nicky Not times Nicky Devlin's getting on the end of a cross that comes for the left back. I love it, mate.
Do you know what I hate though? I said 2 years ago he should get called up to Scotland and I get laughed at on here. I'm 2 years ahead of the game.
That's a regret of ours. We should have signed Nicky at Hearts.
Wow.
Yeah, we should have.
So when were you looking at him?
Same before Aberdeen, same time as Aberdeen.
At Livy, obviously.
Yep. And I'm again going on record here. I'd probably be confident saying he would have came to us because of the location.
Yeah.
And Aberdeen, obviously, it's far away, but they're a big club, or a massive club. But
what was it that put you off?
Robbie left. Robbie was all over him.
He's a Robbie Neilson player,
Yeah, it was Robbie all over him. Robbie wanted him. And then it's not that Stephen didn't want him, we just didn't react quick enough because Robbie left, Stephen comes in. Stephen wants time to work with the team, see what he wants to do, see what he wants to play, how he wants to play. And then, bang, it was announced Aberdeen signed a pre-contract with him. And he's been brilliant for them, isn't he? To be fair.
Flying,
it's incredible what he's doing. It really is.
You look at Aberdeen, the options they've got now, man.
Mate, it's mad. Morris comes on and completely changes the game.
I know. And boy, Ambrose is like, again, it's another goal scorer that they've got for this season.
The recruitment's been excellent, Aberdeen. Credit where credit's due.
What is it? Do you know anything about in terms of how they go about recruitment?
Well, I know Stephen Gunn's director of football. I knew I think they've got head of recruitment Chris Badlin, who's an Englishman. Previous to that was Jordan Miles. I think everyone use data in football. It's as if it's a myth. It's not. We all use data. It's just Tony Bloom's is a higher level than probably the rest of ours, but we all use it. And they'll probably be using data to identify. To be fair, I think Jim Goodwin and I think it would have been Jordan Miles. They've got a lot of credit to take for that Aberdeen side and Miofsky and signing the signings of them. That was excellent. So,
how do you think they found Thielen? You got any insight into that? The manager?
Yeah, so I know his agent. I know the agency, Avid Sport. So I think again they had their own. Aberdeen went through another sort of recruitment company that does data on managers, and what I liked about how Aberdeen done it. I think they went and identified like this is what we want to do. This is how we see us playing, and it's like they counter attack, they press high up the pitch, but they look to set traps, and they put that into whatever data they used, and it came up with Jimmy. And he was meant to get it before Barry Robson, wasn't he? But Barry Robson went on and done absolutely brilliant.
Was he?
Aye. He was meant to get it before him. That was their number one. And then it never happened because Barry went on the great run that he went on. But they've obviously kept up the speed with him and then managed to get him in the summer. And even last year, they were struggling, but they didn't bring him in until the season ended just to give him time to watch the team. And he's done a brilliant job.
What a game on Wednesday.
Aye, excellent.
Wow.
Who are you fancying for
Aberdeen.
that? Are you?
I fancy Aberdeen.
Based on?
The Celtic game. Celtic in the league, I mean the Ross County game was a bit tight in it, they scored 2 near the end, but on the league Celtic, the last time I was like, no club it looked like could get anywhere near Celtic, and Aberdeen had them on the ropes at one point. Celtic did miss a lot of chances, but after that, when he makes these changes, that's what I love about him at half time when they're 2-0 down. You're actually thinking Celtic are going to go in 3-4, and he makes these changes, and I think it was maybe the 70 minute where Celtic were on the ropes. Aberdeen scored the third, obviously.
Keep saying they're on the ropes, I like it.
Have I said that twice?
Jim Watt, it's Jim Watt coming to the box.
Naive, innit?
He's got him on the
same naive tactics. But no, I was so impressed with him going to Park Eden, have that mentality, and he was so calm after the game.
You did say that he played a defensive style of football, didn't you, when he first came? You'd heard that in Sweden, it was like a low block.
Aye.
But he's taken the game to teams in Scotland, isn't he?
I think he's realised it's like Hearts as well, that a lot of the teams give you the ball and you have to figure out a way to break them down. And I think he's learning that Aberdeen, that's a tough place to go. We never won up there when we were at Hearts, just because something happens. Like their fans draw, like at Tynecastle, the fans draw the ball into the net. I think twice we lost last minute goals to them where we were well in the game, probably might have even had the better chances, and then out of nowhere they score goals. So I think he's probably adapted whilst he's up there and went, right, we're going to have a lot of the ball. I can't kind of sit in a low to medium block. I need to actually be a wee bit proactive here and go and get after teams. And to be fair, the squad's been really, really good, and he's utilised them really well with subs and things like that. And look what they are.
Brilliant.
I'm getting in a manager at him as well. I think Scandinavia is a proper untapped market, I think, for certain clubs, especially like the bigger clubs in Scotland. And he's came there and he's just think there's been so many sort of young Scandinavian players that have went to big clubs and done really well. And obviously...
Did you see the stat in the summer that Denmark's, I don't know if it was their full squad, but certainly their starting 11 all played outside Denmark.
Did they?
They were all part of in European leagues.
In football, right?
How's that then for me?
What a shout that is, mate.
And I never knew that.
Fabrizio Romano there, mate, innit?
Aye, fucking doing his homework the wee man, innit?
Rangers less than convincing yesterday, sorry, would I be right in saying that? Big Xander, our goalie coach, wrote and saying it was chronic.
I watched it back last night, full game.
But why'd you do that to yourself?
I did quite a lot, to be fair.
And what was your take on it?
First half, really poor. Really poor, aye. St Mirren pressed the same way that we tried to press Celtic. And again, ours worked for the first half an hour. But then, like I said, Brendan Rodgers talked about when you're playing against a team that tries to lock you one side, you need to switch the play quickly.
Move it quick.
Rangers just kept getting trapped on the one side and just kept getting the ball back to St Mirren. And all of a sudden, caused them all sorts, honestly, caused them all sorts. Just his pace, the timing of his runs, getting him behind. But Rangers just, again, they never had any control of the first half. None at all.
Again, do you think Aberdeen will look at St Mirren, how they played with, like you said, sitting in, maybe hitting them on the counter with the pace that they've got, or do you think Aberdeen again will go and try and dominate the game?
No, I think maybe similar. I think they will look to hit the counter. They've done that v Celtic in the second half. Celtic very high up. They played and behind the goat them a few times. So I think they will. I fancy Aberdeen, I do. And
if they win, they go 9 points clear, mate. 9 points clear of Rangers, sorry.
I think they're looking, I do think as a team, both teams, I think that so far this season, I think Aberdeen are looking much better as a team than Rangers.
Got much more of a style than what Rangers have got, haven't they?
I kind of no stuck up for Clement in his time here, but I've had enough.
Have you?
No, I've had
enough.
He's no Celtic fan.
He's a Celtic fan. I've had enough.
No, I don't mean that, but I mean as in for a pundit point of view, sort of backing him up, but kind of, I kept going, journalism, I kept going back to the fact that he won leagues in Belgium. He's been in a year now.
So what is it you're not liking?
Zero style. I think he's got his own players in. And I just think they're so slow in the ball. I don't think they've got an idea of what they're trying to do. If there was people, it's hard to sack him because there's people. Is there anybody there to sack him? No, that's a problem. Of course, that's a huge problem itself. But if Rangers was run properly and it had the people in the right places, for me, if I was in there, he'd be away.
What did you make Tav not playing?
To be honest, I wouldn't read too much into it other than just probably rotation. I don't think he's get dropped by any stretch of the imagination. And again, for Rangers fans that have said for the last 5 years that Rangers would be a better team about James Tavernier, go and watch the first half and tell me if that's the case. I've said it for so long. I think I've defended him probably more than most, and I think a lot of the criticism he's had this year has been fair. I think Tav would admit that. I don't think he's been at the levels he's been at, whether it's been numbers or performances in general. But anyone that thinks that Rangers will be a better team without him, I just don't get it at all.
I agree.
Do you not think games like that, but it's not like a banker for Rangers, but they should be able to change the team, put a couple of players, take Tav out, for example, and say, right, we've spent X amount on you should come in and be able to play at Ibrox in front of and against a team like St Mirren. No disrespect to St Mirren, but they should win the game because of the squad that Rangers have got. So I think that's what they've done. They've just went, Tav, you've played a lot, get you a wee chance, take you a wee, because Celtic do it, do you know what I mean? Celtic do it and it works for them. So Phil Clement's probably thinking, I'll do the same. And listen, they didn't really play that well, but they still won, didn't they?
Who'd you fancy Wednesday?
Rangers.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think they get good results when he needs to. I just think that when he's under a wee bit of pressure, and I just think that they've got a good record up there, Rangers. And I think they're a decent side, Rangers. I think that they might not be showing it at the moment, but they've got quality. Like,
who do you like? Oh, Cherny's came on to a game, isn't he?
Aye,
Cherny's played well. Aye,
Cherny's played well. I like Dessers. I'll go in there and say that. I like Dessers. I know he maybe...
He looked like he made a difference when he came on at half-time, didn't he?
He does brilliant for the second goal, didn't he?
Do you know who was really good? Raskin.
Was he, mate? Yeah. I like Raskin. I think Raskin's a good football player.
Strange where he went, wasn't
it? Again, I loved Raskin when he first came in. Clement, when he first came in, clearly it seems as if he didn't fancy him because he didn't play him for so long. And then when he's been came in and out over the last few months, you're like, doesn't look as if he's that powerful player that he was at the start. But again, maybe that was just needing a run of games. I thought he was excellent yesterday. I've said it a couple of times. I think Bajrami will be really good. I think once the team's doing a bit better and supplying him with the ball more, I think he'll really start to thrive. I thought he was really good in the second half yesterday. But they probably were the two main positives for me.
Do you think it's a penalty?
What one was talking?
On Olasanya?
I think it's a penalty.
I've watched about 8 different replays for it and I can't say 100% he gets tripped, so it's hard.
It's good refereeing because he plays the advantage. Raskin obviously fouls and then he brings it back. But I'm the same as you. I was looking and going, is that a penalty? Is it? I don't know. I couldn't really tell. Did you think Stephen O'Donnell's is a penalty?
No.
I
was saying that to you.
I can't see. I told you, I still can't see. I'm not sitting on the fence,
but on the fence.
I couldn't see.
Rangers fans sit on the fence.
People might think it's biased, but I'm generally giving my honest opinion. We'll watch the wide angle of the analysis. We're talking about marking boys in the box for the second goal with Alistair Johnson. That's exactly what Sods does. He gets across Maeda's running line, and Maeda, they just kind of run into each other.
Is there a tangle on the legs or nothing?
That's what I was going to say. When you look at it, it looks as if Maeda kicks the back of Sods' calf, but Maeda runs that quick that any type of contact when he's running at that speed, you're going to go down.
Not much an argument for you there.
I'm more thinking, how's the ref no gave a handball or a penalty straight away? How's he no seen that's a handball?
Yeah.
Because Maeda basically told him it was a handball as soon as he went in the net.
I think it's a penalty.
Do you?
I think he stops his run, doesn't he?
Good. What, so you just think, just let him run through, aye?
No.
Is that what you want your defenders to do? Just run in the
boy.
box?
He doesn't even try and go for the boy, he just balls Maeda.
No, he does, mate. He does.
Keep it going.
Did you? I thought you meant motion for a trip there. Is that what you were doing? No, he doesn't.
No.
I promise you he doesn't. You watch it, but he doesn't motion for a trip at all.
I'm fucking brilliant. Need to go on for McTominay part 2.
It's true,
I think it's a penalty.
No, you can think it's a penalty, but he doesn't trip him up.
Alright. You said about splitting the top two while we were at Hearts.
Oh, fucking battered for that.
I love it though, mate. I love it.
Good for you, mate.
I love it, mate.
Can you remember why you said that? Like, what was
we'd finished third in the league, obviously at a canter, to be fair. We were a really good side that season. Got to Scottish Cup final, Rangers beating us extra time. I got asked by Sky Sports to do an interview at Tynecastle because we'd done well. So Mark Benstead comes in, we're doing the interview, and he says, what's your ambition for this year? I says, my personal ambition is to win the league. I says, I wake up every morning thinking, I want to win the next game. That means that I want to get as close to the Old Firm as we can get and win the league. And he's like, right, okay. He says, and what about Hearts? I says, well, we want to try and compete with the Old Firm. If we can split them, great. I says, on any given day, you should think that you could beat them. And he's like, yeah, no, I don't disagree. I says, so that's how I think we should think. I says, now, let's not kid ourselves on here. The two of them are massive clubs. They've got bigger budgets than us, and arguably they've got better players than us, so they should win the games and they should win the league every day of the week, but we should be trying to challenge for that. That's what I think. And if you can't finish first, finish second. If you can't finish second, finish third. And I says, the bare minimum for us at Hearts is to finish third. So fine, that was it. Next minute, I spoke to my head of communications, Phil, after, and I says, how'd that go? He says, I thought it went really, really well.
Stitched you up big time, innit?
Man, an hour later it fucking blew up online, didn't it?
And what happens is your phone just started going mad?
Aye, man, like, all the Celtic fans batter me, or the Rangers fans batter me, or the Hibs fans batter me, or the Hearts fans batter me, or the Aberdeen fans batter me, just saying, what is he doing here? What does Savage know what he's talking about? How do Hearts think they can win the league? They can't do this, they can't even beat this, they can't. And I get fucking slaughtered for it. But then Sky made contact with Phil to say it's been the most and the best content they've had in years.
Oh, did they, right?
Because I just was getting fucking battered just because I'd showed a wee bit of ambition. Yeah. And you don't think, let's be fair to each other, you don't think Scotland's a dead negative country? If you show a wee bit of ambition, they want to come for you, want to cane you for it.
But Celtic and Rangers usually do finish first and second, so it's alright saying, and I do like it, like you want to have ambition, but surely you would, as a club, would need to put things into place and change things. So what would you do to do that?
I think, look, our structure and behind the scenes, when I went in, we were in the Championship. I think we started signing better players. We created a B team to make sure that from the 18s to the first team we had a pathway, because the 18s to the first team was too big a jump. And again, I'm talking about the whole structure. The women's team were like amateur when I came in. We turned them full time. They're now flying. So we wanted to become a bigger team. Now, to compete with Celtic and Rangers, arguably you need to spend more money. Financially, you need to have bigger budgets to sign better players. And that was the hard part. Like, I think we could all sit here and identify players that could improve Hearts. Kyogo would improve Hearts.
Yeah.
Bringing John Souttar back for Rangers would improve Hearts, but we can't afford them. That's the biggest problem. Try to sign these players to come to the club when you're working within a strict budget like we were at Hearts. That makes it hard. So that's why when I was saying it, I was saying, look, my personal ambition is to win the league, but I know we're facing an almost impossible task here doing it at Hearts, but it doesn't stop us trying to do it.
Did you go and tell the manager that you said that?
Robbie just thought it was funny as fuck. He was like, what you doing, man? I was like, just try to show me a bit of ambition, Rob. And he's like,
did he say that, what you did?
Just because he knew
what was
the reaction. He knew the reaction would come. He's like, you try to be ambitious, it won't go down that well. And he was right, it didn't go down that well. I got fucking battered for it.
I would love to see it. It would make the league so much better, wouldn't you, if you had more competitive.
It would be really interesting to see if Aberdeen can sustain it. That'll be really interesting.
Aye.
It'll be really...
See, when you talk about players and that, and recruitment and that, but surely it's just about getting the right manager in. Because that's, for me, it's not to do with Aberdeen's players, it's the manager that's getting them second in the league.
Do you think...
Because I never thought of going and getting a top manager in Hearts to go and compete with Celtic and Rangers.
But do you not think managers, there's only so much you can do, but then you cross the white line and... So,
nah, for me personally, playing that, I think a manager's every minute.
Nah, but what would you say is the most important thing for a manager? The recruitment at the same time. So it's like...
that comes from a manager, so doesn't it? So the whole round package of a manager.
So who are you blaming if Andy's marking at a corner and Andy lets his man run?
I know, but managers put demands on players that doesn't happen to me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like everything happens on a football pitch for me. But I've been in a team, mate, where we are literally dog shite and a manager comes in with the same group of players and we're a fucking good team.
Aye, right, okay, no, I can see your point, but do you not think budgets, do you not think, how do you think Pep Guardiola would do?
Well, but Aberdeen have had that same budget for the last 9 years, haven't they? And they're nowhere near the level they're at now.
Started paying big fees, don't they?
They pay good well, they pay well.
But they were paying well under Barry Robson that as well, weren't they?
Yeah, probably, you could probably say they were, yeah. That's a good argument to have.
Did you ever look at, like, see when Naismith got appointed, did you ever look at a manager for abroad?
Yeah, like, that was the thing that we always, Andrew McKinley, chief
executive. There's a guy, the QPR manager.
Marty Cifuentes, yeah. But I don't want to say too much about that because he was in employment at the time, so that's not something I can say and talk about. But we definitely looked at foreign managers. We definitely had an interest into the Scandinavian market and seeing what else was out there to see if there's something that we were missing, like you've just said there now. Give us that extra 1%, that marginal gain. Can we find that? And that's what we tried to find. But ultimately, Stephen Naismith got the job because even in his interim spell, I thought the team played well, Andy. I don't know what you think. Like you were in it. Like we beat Ross County 6-1. We went to Ibrox and Rangers, drew 2 each with them. We get beat 2-0 off Celtic. But I would argue the first half before I think Alex Cochrane gets sent off, we were the better team. And then we went down to 10 men and they were the better team. And again, that was they won the league that game, but we felt that with Stephen there was something there for him to work with and sort of build on. But Andrew McKinley always said to me, make sure you keep a list. So 3 things can happen. Stephen Naismith will get headhunted and somebody will try and sign him. Stephen Naismith will decide to leave because he wants to leave and do something else, or Stephen Naismith will get sacked. So we need to make sure we're on top of that. So we always kept a list of managers who we felt could potentially be future Hearts managers. So going back to your point about getting a top manager, again, that comes down to budget. That comes down to what you're prepared to pay. And what's Pep Guardiola now? I've never seen his pay slip, but apparently he's on 20 million a year.
Yeah.
So Pep would be brilliant for Hearts, but you never afford him.
But when Guardiola, when he was at the Barca B, he dominated with the B team.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Wins the league there. So they can see right away. When Naismith was the B manager at Hearts, when we played against, I wasn't the... And this isn't it. I think you should have to have done something
get the
Hearts job. So when I watched Naismith, the B team, it didn't blow me away. I wasn't going, by he could be brilliant. Listen, obviously he was only starting out, so he could eventually, but I did find it surprising when he did get onto the job.
I think you could, like, when we had our board meeting and things like that, we had a list of 6 that we wanted to interview, and the way it worked, we interviewed a couple of them and we just couldn't, for whatever reason, we couldn't get them. And then Stephen actually started to build and started to show that what he was working on in the training pitch, how he was sort of communicating with us. We all felt, you know what, he's worthy of a chance.
What one now, Paul? Sorry, to be Jeremy.
No, I might take my serious heat off a wee bit. I was getting a bit heated.
What a return by you, isn't it?
You're on fire as always,
I've been under a rock for the last month, but since I've been back, I wanted to change my sort of...
Who's the rock?
Not under a rock.
All right, so
screaming under a rock, guys. It's great to be here with him.
You've been brilliant, mate.
Thank you.
Different insight.
Great, mate.
Amazing. On you go, side take a week.
The Frankie McAvoy appointment taught us for that situation. That must have been tough for you, mate. Again, you were getting battered for that as well.
It's like what you read. We needed to have someone with a pro licence to make sure that we adhere to UEFA's rules. So, but yeah, Stephen and Frankie worked well together at the time, and it was quickly, as soon as we were out of Europe, we obviously were able to transfer it back.
How many people are involved in picking a manager? Is it yourself? Who else would be involved in it?
So the process for Stephen Naismith was myself, Anne Budge, Andrew McKinley, Jerry Mallon and James Anderson. That was the 5. And then there was a couple of other directors that would have a say when it got towards the end of, this is the 2 we want to pick, or this is the 3, who do you think? And we would give our recommendations as to why we think said person should be the manager. So,
and then who gets the final decision?
Good question.
Thanks, mate.
Probably say Andrew and Anne.
Right.
Yeah. But then you could probably argue that they 4, Andrew, James, Cherry and Anne, they 4 were the deciding factors. Now I was the sporting director, and I had a say, but I didn't have the final say. I can't just turn around and say, right, sack him or do this. We had to collaborate together to make the right decisions.
I mean, one thing, a debate we've had on here is the Robbie Neilson with the fans. I mean, we just couldn't believe that some fans weren't having him. How was he like to work with? I
got on really well with Robbie. Really, really good relationship with him. Listen, that was a difficult period, because I remember, and Andy, you would have played in the game when we went up to Aberdeen and they beat us 3-0, but it was like 3-0 at half time, and they battered us, and that was the moment where you're thinking, oh God, the wheels are coming off here, because we went on we were miles ahead. We were 10 points clear at one point, and then Aberdeen chipped away, and I think Barry Robson won 7 games in a row. So that happened, and you were starting to not panic, but you're starting to think, right, okay, we might need to look elsewhere here. And then I still remember the game to this day. It was St Mirren at Tynecastle. We started well. You hit the bar, and then
should have scored.
Got the sack.
He'd have for edge of box.
Aye, exactly. And then they beat us 2-0. Snodgrass gets sent off, and Robbie always done a thing where after every game he'd walk out to the middle and clap all the sort of stands, and he must have get 20 steps into the pitch, and all you heard, the full stadium, Neilson, get to fuck. The full stadium singing it, and you just knew he was done for. That was him. As soon as he walked back off, everyone on the board, we were all just like, oh.
You said he was trying to learn a new song at that time, so it was
any judgment.
with his trumpet.
You just mentioned Snoddy there. Any stories?
Listen, Snoddy.
Some character.
Oh, brilliant. I remember him coming up to me complaining about the training ground. And I remember saying to him, Snoddy, it's no West Ham you're at anymore, this is Hearts. We're university. And the training ground's not, it's good, but it's not great at Hearts. It can be better, but it's in a university campus, so you need to.
But do you think see what you were saying there, but trying to bridge that gap with Celtic Rangers, is that maybe his thinking as well? Then?
Absolutely, and you could tell that was him.
I feel like Snoddy was a driving factor for Hearts getting much better food.
Yes,
because he was on about the food all the time.
Yep.
And again, straight away, the sort of obviously the new kitchen came in, the chef, and the food went from there to fucking.
It wasn't the donuts he was asking for, was it?
No, that was a great point. No, Snoddy did drive standards, there's no doubt. Snoddy wanted to get us to a better level because he'd worked down in England for so long at some good clubs, so you could see his mindset and mentality, and it was good. It was good for us to see, but you have to kind of walk before you can run at that. And we have the university, we had to make sure that they were on board with everything, and we had to buy that off them. See the bistro, we had to buy that off them to get it. So we then turned it into what Andy's saying now. It's brilliant, the food's excellent. I think there's 3 chefs and a sous chef, so the food's brilliant, and all those sort of small things, they absolutely help you, and that helped us perform better, there's no doubt.
Just on the food, what did you all have for dinner? Any good dinners at the weekend? I did belter a chippy. Honestly, mate, I got a sausage supper, so it's Mario's and Githar. I'm like, what a chippy, and lovely people what it is. A sausage supper, to watch this. Sausage supper, single fish, and a rolling fritter, man. I had curry sauce with the sausage supper. I had garlic mayonnaise with the fish, and I had tomato ketchup on my rolling fritter.
I would lock people up to eat garlic mayo. Lock them up.
Garlic mayo?
No, garlic mayo's brilliant.
Incredible, man.
You bastards, both of you.
What did you have then?
I had their own McCoys. Actually did. The Thai van, see the Thai McCoys?
Did you, mate?
With a roll?
With a roll with butter on it.
Salt and vinegar McCoys and brown sauce, joke.
McCoys with brown sauce?
Sauce on the
honestly,
McCoys?
Mate.
Oh, you're one for watching you.
But Scottish plain bread with salt and vinegar, and brown
Scottish
sauce.
plain bread.
So what about you?
I had an Indian, to be fair, a chicken tikka korma.
Oh, did you?
Korma's not an Indian.
Is it not?
Did you share that with your wee girl, a korma?
No, me and my wife, that's we love it.
It's spicy now.
With naan bread.
I was asked after it.
Well, I've got IBS, so it's not great. Absolutely. It's a great shout, that, to be
What was your naan? What was your naan of choice?
Just normal, just plain.
Peshwari.
See, I would go Peshwari. I'd go Peshwari every day of the week, but she doesn't like it.
Garlic, nah? Peshwari?
No.
What's it with you and garlic, man?
Just love garlic, mate. Love making all the garlic.
Peshwari naan?
I love it, mate.
Peshwari,
We
amazing.
need to ask him his dream meal.
I start like, so your last day on earth, you're just walking out and you hear the beeping noise, electric chairs come to get you.
Oh, you're going to hate me for
Start
this.
a main dessert.
And Budge is banging out the electric chair.
Budge is watching you, aye.
It's so plain, but I absolutely love it. Tuna pasta.
What, for your starter or for your main?
Main.
I'd kill you before you even
He's
got
not
it.
getting his
Tuna
dessert.
pasta.
Your last meal on earth is
Honestly,
tuna
I'd
pasta?
ask anybody.
Start making
Tuna
the
pasta, man. See when I was growing up, right? When I was playing, I was told, like, you put on a bit of weight and I started eating pasta. I started eating tuna pasta 4 times a week, and I went from being wee skinny fucker to a big fucking huge guy just because of all the pasta I was eating.
you were eating,
honestly, and I just love tuna pasta. It's just always something I've always done. It's just plain, no sweet corn, no onions, nothing like that.
Tuna and pasta?
Just tuna and pasta. Just love it. That would be my... And we have this debate all the time where people say I'd have a Sunday roast or I would have this. I'm like, no. Let me make my tuna pasta. Let me put a massive fucking bowl down to me, and I'd just be eating like that, like going, fucking kill me later, man. Just let me eat this.
That's bullet to the stuff in it. Look at that.
Guardiola, Catalan flag.
A good player, Guardiola.
Brilliant.
Average, I'd say.
Oh, man.
I think Guardiola's
Brilliant.
He's a genius, isn't he?
Can you roll off
He's
him,
a genius. This is what I wanted to ask you, just on the fans point, because we made this point a couple of times as well. Do the Scottish clubs listen to fans too much in terms of decision making?
Well, it's different at Hearts, isn't it? Foundation of Hearts.
Because they're part of the ownership.
75%.
Yeah.
So they're fan owned, but they're not fan led. But they definitely listen. There's no doubt. But do you think that's every football club? The peer pressure of fans. It gets
So, mate, well, you look at Man United, right? But again, maybe you're right, because I'm not sure if did fans want Ten Hag out.
It didn't seem as if it's pushed.
I don't know how no, though.
I don't know how.
I
so you think that's everywhere in the world?
Yes, I do. I do believe that it gets to a point. Social media is a killer for it. It just gets to a point where it just too many people are saying the same thing about a certain individual, and they make the change, and then it's like, oh no, that's not really worked for us. What do we do? So at Hearts were very much a club that we wanted to make our own decisions, but they definitely listen to the fans.
But see what I will say, I can talk about it now because I'm not there anymore. I found some of the criticism that Robbie got at Hearts baffling, honestly. And again, towards the end, maybe you can, because I don't know what it was, 0 wins and 6 or whatever, right? I get that, like you've not won a game, but he was getting criticised for the Championship, to the first season you got third, to Scottish Cup finals. It was like, it just seems as if he could never win the fans over, which I couldn't get because he was a Hearts man.
Something to do with style of play was often mentioned as well. You're winning games, and we'd win games comfortably, wouldn't it? You'd be 65, 70 minutes into a game. You'd be
secured third before the top 6 split.
Yeah.
He's getting criticised every week. It's like, what's happening?
And it was hard for Robbie, and I don't know if it was because he's for the West as well, for the West of Scotland, wasn't an Edinburgh boy. I don't know if that played a part in it.
Was there not something to do with him leaving for MK Dons as well the first time round?
Yeah, they didn't like that, didn't they? Not they didn't think MK Dons was a bigger move than Hearts, but.
So see, in terms of getting rid of him, was it that time you said when he came on the pitch and they were
aye, that was you could just tell that. Even walking back in and seeing the directors, you could just tell in their faces they just knew that it was time up for him. He knew as well. Robbie, I remember speaking to him after the game, and again they're all pragmatic managers, but they were like, I need to win more football games, and I'm not winning games, and that's going to kill us. And that eventually that was the reason why he lost his job, was that we felt third place was slipping away for us, and it did. Who
tells him? Were you part of the?
No, it was Andrew McKinley. Chief executive told him.
Pull him into the office.
I think they met up. I think they met each other. So had a coffee and whatever, and has to tell them the news, and that's horrific news to tell someone that, and you're losing your job, but it's football, isn't it?
That's a bad job.
Do you mention Nicky Devlin? You missed out on any other players, mate, that you're dying to get and missed out on that you look back on?
Question, Paul.
Thanks, Andy.
That is a good question.
Thanks, Nicky. I know.
Do you know who we had before? And they ended up becoming like way out of reach. But see, remember the South Korean centre forward?
Oh, they went to Celtic?
Aye, we had him. I was speaking to his agent, and he was interested in coming over because we wanted a powerful 9, sort of replace Ellis Sims when Ellis left.
Ellis was a joke.
Was he brilliant, Andy? Remember saying that?
Yeah, so we had him. That was one that we thought we'd get a chance with, but then I spoke to his agent and started speaking about the numbers, and you're like, it's going to be too much for us, that. And I don't know, I think Celtic paid maybe 2 million or whatever for him. So that was one. Trying to think who else there was. There's a couple down in England, but I'm just trying to remember their names.
I remember one, I forgot his name.
Put you in the spot a wee bit here, isn't it?
It's a great question.
Sorry, Joe.
It's a great question. No need to.
I've got another wee one. I don't know if this is going to be.
I know you've got another wee one.
Is there any stories you can tell us, mate, like in the boardroom, any like has went a bit tits up with players, or agents, arguments, anything. I can't word. I just want a story.
Scandal. You want scandal?
It's funny. It's something funny.
Your sweetie wife wants a story with you.
No, I've never really had that, to be fair. I wish I could say that with agents, something you can smell the bullshitters a mile away. You can tell when they're coming in and they're putting players to you and you're going, we've no chance of getting that player. Why are you putting them to us? And you quickly weed them out. You're like, well, we can offer this and we can offer that. We accept that. And you can see the agents going, oh, no, that we thought you were. Like, it's always interesting taking them to Edinburgh, because Edinburgh's a beautiful city, right? And I like to take the players out for a meal and whatnot, and we take them into like the city centre, and you can see them visualising, looking at the big penthouses and looking at the castle and thinking, fucking hell, this looks brilliant. And I'm looking going, haha.
You're getting 500 quid a week.
What I'm paying you've got fucking no chance. You have the Livingston, mate. Go and live there, because you can just see them looking, going, oh, this is brilliant. Yeah. Especially the English boys and the foreign boys, they're buzzing for it, and you're like, yeah, you'll probably be staying 20 miles from here, but it's fucking nice, eh?
It's nice to come in. Who's your favourite player? Who's your favourite player you've dealt with?
Favourite player I've dealt with? Oh.
You got one there?
Oh, what a question. Just signing at Hearts or signing anywhere?
Just anywhere.
Don't know if that was a wrong question.
Mitchell Dykes, big left back we got him from Ajax, signed for Norwich. 6'3" left back, but a fucking monster. See when he walks in the room, you're just like, all right, big man, I'll do whatever you want. Just you tell me what you need me to do. He's just a monster. And I remember everybody had doubts about him when we signed him, because they were like, he looks a bit robotic and things like that. And then I think we played Cardiff away, and he was like just a monster, just defending his box. Great legs and engine. He got up and down the pitch. And I remember the coaching staff phoning us after saying, wow. And I think we tried to get him. We didn't get promoted that year. I think we tried to get him to stay in the Championship, but he ended up going to Italy with Bologna.
Wow. So was that a scout? Is that what you started as, a football scout?
Yeah. So we Hamilton Accies, I was an engineer to trades. I changed electric meters for SSE, Scottish Southern Energy. Yeah, that's what I started.
They're charging me a fortune, SSE. Fucking hell,
right on it as well. You watch it all the time.
I didn't sit and watch that meter, mate.
Yeah. I've got Octopus. That's good. But I had an electric car.
You've got an Octopus?
No, Octopus Energy.
Oh right, somebody says that. Is that good?
Yeah. Good for electric cars.
Is it?
Yeah, cheaper rate overnight. Charge your car. I had got asked to go and scout for Hamilton Accies when Billy Reid was in charge, and then
top man Billy Reid, didn't he?
Brilliant man. And Billy left, and then Alex Neil took over, and I helped out. I used to scout players and do opposition reports for them, and then we ended up getting promoted. We beat Hibs at Easter Road, and I always remember saying to my wife, I'm going to take because I was only when doing that with Hamilton, I was earning £30 a game.
Right.
That was all I was earning, just for the start. I just wanted to start. I'd get home for my work at maybe 4, half 4, and quick meal out again, have to drive to Dundee or drive to Arbroath or drive to wherever. Just was buzzing, just doing that 3-4 times a week. And then I got offered the opportunity. And I remember this, I was on 25 grand a year with SSE, and Hamilton Accies, my first salary with Hamilton Accies was 22 grand a year. So I took a salary drop just because I wanted to get into full-time football. That was always the ambition. And then Alex Neil done, what a job he done.
So what was that job you done on 22 grand a year at Hamilton? First team scout?
Director of recruitment, that was the title, but I was only scout. So I was the only guy there doing the work.
So you were doing everything yourself, opposition, signings, everything?
Yep.
Wow. To be fair, because Alex Neil then takes you down the road, doesn't it?
Yeah. Did you, any Hamilton players that you can tell us that you signed?
Tony Andrew.
Andrew's a good player,
Jesus Garcia Tena.
Yeah, remember him. I was at Dundee at that time.
Were you the twins were there?
No, the Paschal twins. Yeah, no, I wasn't there.
They used to dance anytime one of them scored, didn't they? They were both dancing together.
No, they two were I would say were our sort of best signings. And then we brought in Jason Scotland as well, just a bit of experience, but brilliant player.
Was Alex Neil top man?
Excellent.
You have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, I originally thought I wanted to be a manager. That was my thought process until I started working with Alex and seeing the detail and the tactical detail and how he wanted to set teams up. And I remember watching, similar to your John McGlynn story, but I remember watching Alex do an analysis session and thinking, wow, fuck me, there's levels to this game. Yeah. That's unbelievable. The detail he went into. And I thought, I maybe can't do it, but I can maybe work with you on the other side of things, because I like the tactics as well, I like the detail and things like that. But I always liked recruitment. I'd always had a wee, that's my passion, if you want to say, how do you start out? It's always scouting and I love nothing more than watching the Korean league or the Japanese league or the Colombian league and just try to find players. That's just, it's always been a skill, I think, of mine. So me and Alex hit it off, and Frankie obviously was part of that as well, and Big George Cairns as well at the time.
Do you love Football Manager?
I did when I was growing up, yeah.
Did you?
I did.
Do you know still play it? No.
I'm
obsessed
too complicated, and it just takes ages, man.
What's your game on?
I'm on about 278 now.
See, I prefer Championship Manager. See, when back in the day, you might be too young for that.
It was before my time.
Champ Manager was brilliant.
Aye.
So see when Alex Ray gets his move, does he say to you straight away what to take?
Alec Ray?
Sorry. Alec Neil.
Yeah, but I had to interview for the job.
Even though you'd worked with him?
Yeah, I had to interview with the Chief Executive, the Head of HR and the Technical Director at the time. I had to go and do an interview, put a presentation forward for why I should be, because let's be fair, I'm coming from Hamilton Accies where I'd been doing the job 18 months, 2 years. Norwich were in the Championship, going well and about to get promoted to the Premier League, so it's a huge jump in it, not to be disrespectful to myself, but I get why I had to interview, but I kind of thrive in this sort of environment. I like that. I like interviews. I like being able to show you who I am and what I can do. So,
what do you present? Just players that you've identified
just what I think I would do and what I think they're missing. Like, I think you might need a left back and I think you might need a centre forward. These are the sort of players that I think that you could sign, and these are what I've been looking at. And I think also it comes down to your character as well. People that I always say to people that the skill set gets you in the door, the character keeps you in the door. If you're a wanker, you'll get found out and people will get rid of you. But if you're a good guy and people like working with you, you'll survive and you'll probably thrive as well and get further up. And I think that's, touch wood, I think that's what's happened with me, is I think I've ended up being in a good position.
One of the top players anyway you signed at Norwich, James Maddison. How did that come about? When was the first time you actually seen him play?
So he was at Coventry at the time, and we were really big on trying to make sure we developed young players and got assets, because Norwich previous to that weren't kind of known as doing that. So we'd watch James, and the thing that you see with James is he's cocky, and he looks confident, but he's confident in himself. And I think that's the difference, in my opinion, between the Scottish and the English boys. The English boys own it. The English boys walk, and they walk with a purpose. They walk like fucking good player, and I know I'm a good player. And I remember the first day he turned up to training, he's walked onto the training pitch, and he's walked out like, just came for Coventry in League One. We're in the Premier League, and he's just walked onto the pitch like, I'm fucking James Maddison. You boys will remember my name type thing. And turned out to be some player. And we also signed like Ben Godfrey for York City.
Is it Everton then?
Yeah, so that was another good one for us as well. So
do you go and watch these boys? Did you go and watch Maddison and Godfrey?
Yeah, we go to the stadiums and that. And
was that data driven as well, or was that just more?
We had data, but I would say that was more live scouting back then. That was more Alex Neil saying, I want a 10, I want a creative 10. This is the sort of KPIs, this is the sort of attributes I think I want my 10 to have. And James fitted that. And the same with Ben Godfrey. Like, I think there was talk that Ben was maybe going to be a defensive midfielder, but you could tell quite quickly he's going to be a centre back. 6'2", athletic, strong, aggressive. But again, what we liked about them is they come from the lower leagues, so a bit of hunger there to go and prove themselves and do well. So that was why we signed them.
Do you think it helped you that you were was it part-time you played in Scotland? Do you think it helped you that you were involved in football as a player?
Yeah, I think so. I think it helped. It probably helped me from the character side of things and seeing how people operated and the way people spoke, and also helped me that I'm just really keen in finding out that this information. I like doing like a deep dive in a player and checking all his social media, checking all the information on him just to really...
Do you do that, eh?
Oh, aye.
You check all their social media?
I check it. We check everything. Check absolutely everything.
Is there anyone that you've been put off by their social media?
Quite a few. I can't name any names, to be fair.
What did they write on it?
Just stupid things like back 5 years ago they'd write something daft and you're like, if that comes out, you're fucked, pal. So we go back, you do a deep dive and you check all these things to make sure.
Mate, I'm convinced that fucked my career, mate.
What's it going on in your
I bet you that did it.
Lineker.
You were that's why you never went right to the top. You're top.
So no, we always I think every modern club now, every scouting, they'll have to do that.
That's busy for you, man.
Aye, busy as fuck. You're absolutely right.
What about some other names that you got as well?
Bamford as well, wasn't it?
Preston. Go through them, Paul.
I mean, I'm just looking through here. Scott Sinclair, Robbie Brady, Patrick Bamford.
Aye, well,
these players.
Scott Sinclair.
Brandon Barker. You see he's brilliant, Andy, in training?
One of the best training players I've ever seen.
Yeah. I always remember the story at Preston. We were waiting in so we're Preston in their building and we'd an outer building and we'd signed them at Preston and we were waiting outside the door to go into the office or whatever, and all you heard was this big roar of an engine, and you're like, fuck's that? And this car comes in, it's like a Batmobile, and we were like, fucking hell, out steps Brandon Barker, and we were like, oh my.
The Man City, is that when
he was at Man City at the time? It was an absolute beauty. I think it was a BMW, can't remember what type it was, but it was like, do you know what, where you're just looking going, fucking hell. It was some engine, some car, and I went, oh, Brandon, maybe no turning up here, because the boys, they paid well at Preston. They drove nice cars, but they didn't drive cars like that.
Do you ever get to see Alec Neil in the dressing room?
Aye.
What's he like?
Brilliant. His tactical knowledge of being able to repair things is, and I mean, just absolutely a joke. It's brilliant. How he'll come in straight away and say, look, we need to repair this here because they're puncturing us here, they're playing through his lines here, so what you need to do, you narrow off a wee bit, you drop a wee bit deeper. And you would be just sitting mesmerised going, I've fucking never seen that.
Did you ever think about getting him or interviewing him for the Hearts job?
If I had probably been there at this moment, yeah, probably would have. But Alex, when Stephen Naismith got a job, Alex was in a job.
Right.
So he would have been someone that I would have liked to have thought that the club would have spoken to.
He's had some career, Alec Neil, hasn't he?
A couple of promotions.
I think he's brilliant. I think tactically he's brilliant.
He got Sunderland up as well, didn't he? Norwich as well. Norwich up, Sunderland up.
Hamilton, Norwich and Sunderland he set up.
He comes across quite
he's a scary bastard. Did you play against him, Andy?
He was a hard bastard.
I don't remember, but I might have.
See, even on the pitch, mate, he used to organise everything on the pitch.
Tough boy.
Then McCarthy, he was a big hang behind their success, the way he was room on the pitch.
Yeah, that midfield three when he sat and he allowed they two to go, yeah.
Is Maddison the best player you've signed?
If you talk about career that he's went on to, yeah, but do you know what, there's some players that you look at and go, oh, you could have done better. Like
Who would that be?
Sergio Canos. Just didn't hit it off at Norwich for us, but ended up getting to the Premier League with Brentford. Nelson Oliveira, Portuguese boy, was brilliant.
Striker.
Yeah, striker. Training wise, absolutely.
He was at Blackburn as well, wasn't he? Was it Blackburn?
I think he might have been actually, aye.
Wait, was Gary Hooper there at
Norwich at the time, aye.
Did he play under Alec Neil?
Kind of towards the end, and then his contract was up.
I'm surprised because he was so good at Celtic.
Brilliant at Celtic, wasn't he? You signed Naismith for Norwich as well, didn't you?
Did, yep.
So how did that come about? Was that an Alec Neil just go and get Naismith, or was that you that identified him?
Naisy had scored, remember he scored a hat-trick against Chelsea that season. And we felt we needed someone that was like, sort of industrious and busy, that would work and run and stretch it, and he fit. And again back to our previous debate about the budget dictated that what we could sign. We knew we'd spent a good bit of money, and Stephen, don't get me wrong, but
What was he on?
Can I tell you that? Good salary. I'll tell you that, good salary. But we ended up signing him because Alex felt he would come in and make that difference in terms of he could play as a 10, could play as a 9, could probably play tucked off the side as well. So, and I remember his debut, played Liverpool, he scored and he won a penalty and we were 3-1 up. And that was a game that they beat us 5-4.
Lallana.
Yeah, Lallana. Jurgen Klopp running down, glasses get broke.
So they did.
That's a funny story about that. Jurgen Klopp ran past all our coaching team, like Alex Neil, Frankie McAvoy and all that, to celebrate with them. And Frankie for Bells Hill, he's after the game's been like to big Jurgen Klopp, what are you doing? And he's like, what? That was disrespectful what you done there. And I swear to God, Jurgen Klopp's went like to him, shut up. And out of nowhere, Big Sacco and Colo Touré have come right behind Klopp, and one of them punched Frankie.
Fuck off.
Out the way wee man. Honestly, don't know who it was, but one of them popped him in the chin. So to this day, we still slaughter.
And did he go down? Frankie go down?
But he's just like, what the fuck about Frankie's a wee angry Scotsman? He's like, yeah, fucking prick you, I'll come get you. And you could see these two huge guys going like that. Fucking see you later, wee man, off you pop.
That is brilliant.
So to this day, we still wind Frankie up. I'll text him every day and say, remember that day Big Sacco punched you in the jaw? And he's like, big man fucking shot it, but it's like, annoying.
So are you head of recruitment at Norwich, or are you Chief Scout, right?
Scout.
And then obviously the Hearts job comes up.
Yes.
And that was the Chief Scout.
Norwich, Preston head of recruitment.
So you went from Chief Scout to head of recruitment.
Yep.
And then what was the Hearts position?
Sporting director.
Right. And what did somebody get in touch with you, or do you see it advertised?
So I had been asked, because I'd been asked about the job if I'd been, and we had just moved down to Preston at the time, my wife and with a wee girl, and we were like debating whether it was the right idea or not, and then they stopped the recruitment process for whatever reason. I don't know if it was because they were appointing Daniel Stendhal or whatever, I don't know. And I never heard anything of it, so I just left it. And then I got another call, probably November time, saying, would you want to speak to Hearts about the job? And I went, yeah, listen, I could do that. I spoke to my wife about it. She said, yeah, do it. So we went up and I spoke to Hearts. And do you know that way you get a good feel for something straight away? I just got a good feel that the only way is up. They're in the Championship. They shouldn't be in the Championship. They've got a good team. We should get promoted. And then hopefully we can kick on through there.
Did they say why they were needing somebody in that position? Because that would have been the first person that had done that, wouldn't they?
Well, Craig Levine kind of shared the job, didn't he? He done director of football and sport manager, and he was also director of football before when Robbie Neilson was a manager. So it's something that they had, but they wanted to really implement an actual structure of sporting director, manager reports to sporting director. And when we're having in, we didn't have a recruitment department of that. We'd none. To really build, didn't have a women's team.
Hearts never had a recruitment department.
No.
So how were they getting players just on the manager's say?
Just John Murray was a scout for them. Done a great job for him, John, to be fair, but we wanted to get more involved with data, make sure that the structure was better. And that's what I think we ended up doing well, to be fair.
So was that did you put that all into place?
Yes.
Did you get there, mate? Aye.
Yep. And even the B team as well. I wanted to implement the B team along with Andrew McKinley, Chief Executive. So that was the thing. Like, we're probably going to talk about it, but that was probably part of the reason why I left Hearts. It just felt like the right time. It was 3.5 years, but it was 3.5 years of being everybody's problem solver, but nobody solved my problems. I'm not saying that the Andrew or that never tried to help me. Just, do you know what I mean? I was coming home at night, constantly on my phone, constantly emailing WhatsApp, and my kids are trying to play me, and I'm shushing out, shut the door, shutting down. My wife says, shut the door, and then I need to take this call, I need to email this person. I was becoming a dick. If I'm being honest with myself, I was becoming, and I know my wife doesn't like me saying that, but I felt within myself I was becoming someone that I didn't want to be, that it was just about the job, and there wasn't an enjoyment there about the job anymore. It was becoming, I was praying for a victory, praying not to get beaten, hoping for a victory towards the end.
See, we've all come to that, but see, just on the job itself, do you have to then speak to the manager after you speak to these people to make sure that there's a connection between you, or does that not matter?
No, that's a good question. I ended up
Maybe on that one,
bastard.
Just to keep asking about the best player. Who's the best player?
I ended up meeting Robbie Neilson after the club had kind of intimated to me that they wanted me to get the job. Me and Robbie met.
What do you do? Like you go for a day?
We went a
walk. Salad, wasn't it?
We went a walk. We had a good chat, and I'd like to think Robbie would say this. The first thing I ever says to Robbie in terms of me in the position, I says, Robbie, I don't want your job. I don't want to be a manager. I'm not qualified to be a manager. I'm here to help you. I'm not going to step on your toes. Don't ever think I'm going to come in here and say you should do this, you should do that. We need to work together to try and build this club back up. And I'd like to think he appreciated that and respected that, because that was me being dead honest with him. And I think we had a really good relationship, Robbie and I, but you're right, we had to make sure that we bonded and made sure that there was a relationship there. And
did he want a director? Did he want it?
Yes.
Did he want a head of football?
Yeah, because Robbie likes just concentrating on the pitch, coaching the team. He likes that. And he has a big say. Every manager I've worked with, they have the final say in signing players. I would never come to Robbie and say, Robbie, you're signing Andy Halliday, that's it. It would always be, Robbie, do you want to sign Andy Halliday? Because we can get him. And then he'll turn around and say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. And then if he says, yes, I do, it's my job to go and get the deal done. If he says, no, I don't, I just move on.
Do you think you ended up doing too much?
Yeah, definitely. And
you're doing the pies at half time?
Fucking hell. Listen, if I walked in there, I've got dog's abuse, so no, I fucking stay away from that. It ended up, I would say, it just got too much for me. It just got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't want to do the job anymore. I think, but again, I think I was also being clever in the sense that leaving him in a high, we'd finished third. We should have finished third 3 years in a row. We collapsed that second year, and it was hard for us to all take. But we then got to the men's first team got to the Scottish Cup final, get beat off Rangers. The women's first team got to Scottish Cup final, get beat off Rangers. The under 18s got to Scottish Cup final, beat off Rangers. So I was always getting so far, and it's hard going to Hampden all the time and getting beat. It just it drains you, because that was what I was feeling like. I was going to these places and you were getting beaten. I was just sitting devastated, and you take the result home with you. Like you're
but I would, if I was in your position,
I took it home.
I wouldn't have the results placed on me.
Every defeat it hurt me. Every single defeat, I took it hard. I would always because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew, and I'm not on social media, I'm not on Twitter or anything like that, but people, your mates would want to tell you, fucking hell, typed your name into Twitter, or X as it's known.
Oh, I didn't. We get it all the time.
And you're like, what'd you do that for? Just to see what they're writing about you. Oh, fucking hell, thanks for that. What are you going to tell me now? It wasn't very good, was it?
Were you surprised at how, did you get as much abuse at the other clubs, Preston, Norwich, as you did at Hearts?
No, but again, I'd say Hearts are unique for that, I think, because of the fans and the fan base, how they work and what they expect to win and what they expect to be delivered in terms of trophies and things like that. And listen, if we'd won the Scottish Cup, we'd have been legends for life there, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't have needed to buy a pint in a Hearts pub in Edinburgh ever again, but we never.
You see, when you first took that job, did you expect to get, no, you never expected to get that
nowhere near
criticism for the
I knew they were a big
stuff.
club. I knew they were a big club, but when I went in, I quickly realised, fucking hell, this is 24/7, like, and it's just a job as well, because you want to be seen. And I'd go to academy games, I'd go to B team games, I'd go to women's games. I would stay late behind at night, so I'd be saying to my wife, like, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm staying behind. I'll stay till 9 o'clock at night to be seen by the parents of the academy players, to be speaking to the women's team at the time. Was they were part time, so to be around her so that she could see there was support there. That I'm not just have this fancy job as a first team sporting director and I just eat prawn sandwiches in the director's box.
Tuna sandwiches,
tuna sandwiches, to be fair. That I didn't want that to be out there. So, but I ran myself into the ground, and I know I've got the violin out here for myself. Trumpet then. But it just became too tough a job for me. It just was like, nah.
That's a lot of that, isn't it? Staying behind for fucking...
Yeah. And I've done it all the time. It was always at all the games, the B team games especially, if I could make it.
Did you come to Broomhill against Hearts B?
It's the only one I never came to,
Why? You thought we were dog shit?
No. Was it 1 each? Was it a Friday night game?
Friday night, and brought 2 each. You got a man sent off.
Yeah,
that's right.
You got a man sent off.
I think we would have been away.
Oh, with the first team. See, when you first come into Hearts, do you have a saying? Because I'd imagine at a club like Hearts, you need to get rid of players before you bring players in. Would you have a saying who was going as well? Is that part of the job?
No, the manager would tell me. If the manager didn't want, if Andy Halliday's got a year left in his contract and he doesn't want him, I'd speak to Andy's agent straight away and say, look, we're going to probably have to move Andy. Can you help find him a club? So that's where I'm involved. But then if the club that was trying to sign Andy, like Motherwell would do, they'd have to come through me to negotiate the deal, and I'd have to be happy that I think they're paying a contribution that we think's right, or if they're paying a transfer fee or whatever, if it's a loan, I'm the one that has to decide that.
So is your first window the window once you've been promoted to the Premier League?
No, I got there in January, the 4th of January 2021 I started, so that window...
Who did you bring in anyone?
Gary Mackay-Stephen, Big Armand.
The championship year?
Yep, championship year. Aaron McInnes.
Where did you meet Gary Mackay-Stephen? Library?
No, actually, funnily enough, who were trying to sign him was Dell still at Aberdeen at that point.
Maybe Dell
signed
him.
Dell
Dell was trying to sign him, so we managed to get him. Robbie met him, because I think West End. Robbie stayed in the West End. So
you never went there?
I never met him.
Right. And then with the Premiership recruitment?
One of the proudest moments must be signing Lon Shankland, how well he came on.
Aye, that was really, really good, especially when it was kind of frowned upon, wasn't it? Like the reaction and the reception that it received.
How was the reaction when he first signed?
I think a lot, not a lot, but I think a few Hearts fans were like, oh, he's been at Dundee United, he's not scored a lot of goals. To be fair, all the credit has to go to Robbie Neilson for that one. Robbie, right for the word go, says he'll score goals. I'm telling you right now, Joe. In this type of environment, in that stadium, he will score goals. Him, Lee McCulloch and Gordon Forrest were right on that for the word go. He will score goals. Like, Robbie actually offered a guarantee. He says,
did he?
Oh, absolutely. He says, telling you right now, he'll score goals for this club.
Are you unsure a wee bit? Have you been honest?
No, I was looking, going, at that time, I had just obviously been in 3 or 4 months. So I was like, right, Robbie, I felt it was my job to support him. I was like, you want him, I'll get him. That's my job. It wasn't my job to turn around and say, I'm unsure, I'm not unsure. If the manager tells me he wants him, it's not, I don't have an opinion.
So do you go and watch these players that Robbie identified? Would you have went and watched them?
No, I had the head of recruitment.
Right ahead of recruitment.
Will Lansfield was excellent, by the way. He's really, really good. So he would watch, and then with other scouts, we had to build that department up. So no, I didn't really watch players. I didn't go and watch. I had too much on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did. See if I had a spare Saturday or whatever. Sometimes I would try and go and, if somebody says that we're interested in him, Joe, can you go and watch him for me? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's Iffa Park, I can go. It's 10 minutes for me. I stay in Hamilton.
So then what do you do? Do you need to get in touch with Dundee United and Shankland's agent then? Is that your job from that
so
point?
He was at Beershot, yeah. So I speak to the agent, say, would Shanks be interested? He lets me know Shanks would be interested. I then get in touch with Beershot to say, look, we're interested in signing Shanks. It took me probably 7 weeks to sign Shanks. Took me ages because it just back and forth with Beershot.
I remember it being quite a while because I remember messaging him. I remember messaging him just like saying, "Oh, what's happening?" He was saying it was quite slow. Still,
is there any other clubs involved?
No that I can remember, no, but I kind of knew him a wee bit beforehand, so I was kind of in contact.
And things like that, guys, remember, like Dundee United will have a sell on in that, so they'll be due part of that. Whatever Beershot agree to sell him to us for Dundee United, then get a percentage of that. Yeah.
Did you go over to Belgium?
No. Just done everything.
Would you like to be trip away now?
Probably would have, but just done everything over like phone call with the guy. Just phoning back and forth and emailing back and forth. Having a paper trail. That's key as a sporting director, have paper trail, have messages for people, emails, text me, whatever it may be.
See, with Shankland, it felt like at one stage, even last season, that it was almost going to be impossible for Hearts to hold on to him. Did you feel that as well, with his form and the goals he was scoring?
I think like, when you score the goals and the way he performed as well wasn't just about the goals, was it? His link-up play and things like that was brilliant. So, yeah, we all heard the news as well, like Rangers were coming from. That's what we'd heard, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And
did it never?
Never had any bid for him. No club, no Rangers never tried to sign him.
Are you surprised at that?
Very much so, considering his goal return, what he offers in Scotland, like just incredible. But that's up to Rangers and up to Celtic and whoever. It's their decisions to.
Sorry, Joe. In January last year, I think Rangers were getting themselves back into the league, and a lot of people knew say if they had signed Shankland, they went on to win the league. Would you have sold Shankland at the right price in January, or would it have been rather maybe the end of the season?
Great one.
Probably not. If you want me to be honest with you, I don't think we would have sold him. Not in January when we had the Scottish Cup still to go, and again the league at the time, we weren't so far away that you'd think that's as easy, but we were in a good enough position. But no, I don't think it would have sent the right message to the Hearts fans selling him in January.
What is third guaranteed to come? Like 7 million or something like that, or 6 million? If you finish third and you get that guaranteed group stage?
Guaranteed group stage probably it's about, I think it's like 4.5 to 5 million.
Aye. So again, like
your argument then is
Rangers going to pay the 5 million that guarantees you.
If we sell Shanks, that's what we're losing out because he was scoring all the goals for us.
What about tough times at the club? Toughest probably Robbie Neilson Snodgrass thing.
Listen, I had quite a few tough times. Listen, I suffered a lot of personal abuse, and I'm quite comfortable showing vulnerability. Getting called a fat, getting called a baldy bastard, getting called an ugly bastard. It's no nice to hear, and I got that quite a lot, to be fair. So I'd say that was tough for me.
Are we talking about like face to face here?
Oh yeah. I got a lot of abuse from the Hearts fans at times. And
why? The recruitment was good.
Don't know. I think they thought I talked shite. I think they thought I heard a couple of times that because I was for the West, I'm a wee weed that talks shite. That's another story. Me and Stephen Naismith are doing a Q&A at Tynecastle, and I walk into the toilet. I go to the urinal or urinal, however you want to say it. I was just about to do a pee, and a Hearts fan, a Hearts fan came in. I'm thinking, I'm not want to see this guy looking at my wee dick, so I went into the cubicle. Right? So I went into the cubicle just to do a piss. So we got to the cubicle, start to do the toilet, and another one comes in, and two of them go, "How do you think this will go the night?" And one of them goes, "No, I can't tell who they were, what they look like." Ah, fucking hell, it's two wee Ouija's, eh? Two of them was talk shite, especially that Savage. She talk shite, that. I'm sitting in the cubicle, and I'm like, fucking hell, wow. And that was last year.
Did you come out and say anything?
No, I just let them go and let them leave.
Turned into a shite, didn't it?
Check my phone. So that's difficult. There's this story, obviously.
Did they come right up to you that you know? Say that?
Well, there's a story in Greece. Apparently, I was dancing in tables, steaming drunk. Absolutely not true whatsoever. The story goes, when we go to European trips with Hearts, I would the directors like to go out for a meal. So we'd always fly out the day before, so the Wednesday before the Thursday, and we'd go for a meal. Generally, we'd stay in separate hotels for the players. I would always want to stay with the players, but I was kind of told, like, you need to be with the directors type things. I was like, fine. So I'd go with the directors, we'd go for a meal. And listen, 95% of the time the Hearts fans were good with me and positive and complimented me. But there'd be the odd occasion where you would get dug out for things. And I went to got a meal, it was like just a Greek restaurant we went to this time because we were in Greece,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we walked to an Irish bar because that's where all the Hearts fans were sort of congregating. So you get into the Irish bar, we're just inside, and I don't drink, I'm a non-alcoholic, so I've got a Coke. No, I didn't think I have a drink in my hand. The Rangers are playing PSV in the Champions League playoff, so I'm watching that. the Hearts fans are all singing the Frankie Kent song, Where's a Magic Hat? So next minute I get tapped on the shoulder and I turn around and there's a fan there. So where we are, I'm standing here and there's a row of chairs, but there's a big block, so you'd have to walk round to get round to the other side. So he taps me, he says, get a picture of me and my dad, Joe? And I was like, aye, no bother. He says, just stand up in the chair. So I stood up in the chair, reached over, got a smiled and got a picture. I stepped down off the chair and I done this with my hand and started watching the game. It's literally all I done. Just at that point, somebody was doing that with a video. It's like a 16-second video. Bang, all over the media, all over Twitter. I think the Daily Record picked it up. And I got fucking dogs abuse. Look at that fat dancing on tables, steaming. What is he up to? That's terrible, disrespectful, unprofessional. So I was like, that's not true. That never happened. That very night, as I was leaving, say, but maybe an hour later, I was walking out and this Hearts fan stopped me. And the big guy with a beard, and he goes, here, listen, Savage, comes right up to my face, basically squares up to me. Listen, Savage, you fucking prick. I'm like, all right, I'll no blow smoke up your arse like everybody else in here. You sort this fucking recruitment out or you'll have me to deal with. I was like, right, no bother, mate. Thanks for that. He's like, I'm fucking telling you. Dead aggressive. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I then left to walk out and go. So I got that a couple of times, and I'm quite open about speaking about that because a lot of sporting directors won't speak about it and they'll kind of hide under it and say, oh no, you can't say that. Well, I shouldn't be subjected to that when I'm going to a football match to do my job. I shouldn't be getting threatened and feeling threatened that somebody's going to fucking knock me out because we lost the game. And like, needless to say, we played Palk the next night. They pumped us 4-0. So what was the story for the next couple of days? Savage was steaming drunk and dancing on tables.
How good was the atmosphere at that Palk?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't quite work it out.
See if you are steaming and dancing on tail, who gives a fuck? What's that got to do with the game of job?
You should be able to, but again, I had another Hearts fan saying to me when I was walking down at the director's box, I was walking down the stairs, and he's like, Savage, you prick. So I look over, he's like, stop dancing in fucking tables and sort this mess out. Like, they bore, mate. They bore.
What's the mess they're talking about here if you are finishing third in the recruitment?
At the time last year, that September, October time, we weren't doing great. We weren't, like, I think Motherwell came to Fir Park and beat us. Blair Spittle scored 1-0.
At Tynecastle?
At Tynecastle, yep. And who else beat us? Dundee beat us as well. So we hadn't started the season brilliantly, but I don't think in any way should people be subjected to it. And it's not just me. Andrew McKinley got it, Robbie Neilson got it, Stephen Naismith got it. So I'm not playing the victim here for myself. It was just, but again, I've seen the Hibs guys getting it, I've seen Celtic getting it, I've seen the Rangers guys getting it. You see them all getting it. I don't think it's right.
No.
Aberdeen got it, Stephen Gunn and Alan Burrows, they were getting it as well.
Yeah. Are you happy with your recruitment over your time at Hearts?
Aye, listen, did we make some mistakes? Absolutely. But if you'd say to me, Joe, when you're getting appointed, I expect you to get 100% strike rate in recruitment, I say, well, that's not going to happen, sack me there. Because it's impossible. And we got, I would think we got more right than wrong, but we definitely got some wrong. There's no doubt. And that happens, that's football, that's the nature of the beast.
What ones are you happy with?
Right, listen, you could talk about Shanklin.
Shank's got them.
Yeah, Shanklin, Xander Clark. Cammy Devlin comes from, we paid 30 grand for him. He's been on to play for Australia's national team. Kai Rowles plays for Australia's national team. Nate Atkinson plays for Australia's
what was the Australia thing? How did you tap into that?
We were big on data. We didn't live scout them. So that was data signings. That was players that we identified through Robbie's KPIs of what he wanted in a certain position. So the idea behind Cammy Devlin was Robbie wanted somebody with a bit of energy, a bit of legs, get about, make tackles, because we were playing that 3-4-3 at the time. So the two central midfielders, two pivots, one get about, like a Canty type, get about, make tackles, win the ball back, free it up for someone to, and I think Cammy was very good at that. I think his first year he was probably brilliant for us.
Yeah.
Ellis was a big one, I thought.
Ellis as well, yeah.
That first year, I thought Ellis came in and made a right difference.
Yeah, Beningame, great player into just his injuries, isn't it?
Beningame. Frankie Kent's turned out. I've been really Frankie Kent, because we needed a sort of solid leader. Halkett was injured, so we needed someone to come in and replace Halkett. And Frankie Kent came in, done that. Big Xander Clark's come in, and you've got Craig Gordon's shoes to fill, and then Craig breaks his leg and Xander steps in and is brilliant for us as well. So I'm pleased with a lot of the signings. I'm happy. I can look at it and go, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Good. So does that put you having back into the game?
Not so much the game, but as a sporting director, yeah, it would be difficult for me if I
go back to that.
If I thought that was a sort of level of criticism and what you're going to get there. That doesn't fill me with that much confidence. I'm not in the game to get personally insulted constantly just for trying to do my job. And that might mean that I'm playing the victim here, and I need to be tougher, and I need to be bigger, but yeah, it's not, football's not for me. It shouldn't be that.
Do you remember a day where you just felt this is too much?
So twice, there's two incidents or two memories that I went, this is for me. We beat Hibs at Easter Road, Shanks' last minute goal, and you're watching the away fans all celebrating. I went, fuck, it doesn't get any better than this. Scoring a last minute winner against your city rivals. There's nothing in the game. I don't think we deserve to win. Very much like yesterday's game, but Shanks just pops up, puts one in the top corner. So I was like that. Then the other one was, we played Ross County, up at Ross County. There's 8 games to go in the season. I think we're 12 points clear in third place. They beat us 2-1, but if you look at your data, you look at your statistics, everything about us was better. We had more expected goals, more entries into the box. We had a goal disallowed, the free kick.
Kingsley, was it Kingsley?
Kingsley's free kick. Shanks was standing in the way the goalkeeper, apparently. We probably should have had a penalty. We didn't get these things. And after the game, I remember Andrew McKinley saying that you want to head out to the car. And I was like, no, this is up at Inverness. I was like, it's a bit too soon, Andrew. He's like, no, it'll be fine. I says, Andrew, there's 3,000 Hearts fans out there. Going out a wee bit too soon. He's like, no, it'll be fine. I said, I'm fucking telling you, we'll get dogs abuse. He's like, no, it'll be fine. We're fucking 7 games to go. We're 11 points clear in third place. It's like, okay. He's like, I've got a dinner at 8:30 anyway, so I want to be back. He's like, okay, so we start walking out. Bang, bang, bang on the windows. That's fucking shite. Fucking rubbish. Sack that manager. That's fucking shite, that. So I walked back to my car, and I'm getting it, baldy bastard, this and that. So I'm trying to ignore it. I get to my car, and you ever remember the film, The Equaliser, with Denzel Washington? Remember the first film where he's in with the Russian mafia, and he's trying to pay off the girl, the prostitute, and he tries to negotiate with him, and they reject it, and he gets to the door, and he opens the door, and then he shuts it. And then he opens the door, and then he shuts it, and then he clicks his watch on, turns round, and does what he does. I get to my car door, and I open my door, and I'm just about to get in, and there's a wee Hearts minibus sitting, and all I hear is, "Savage, you fucking wanker." So I'm like, am I? And I look, and I swear to God, in my head, I was like, I'm going on a bus. So I shut the door, and then I was like, can I go on the bus? So I open the door again. Then the other part of me goes, no, I'm going on that bus. So I shut the door again. And then I'm fighting with myself. So I'm a Gemini. So I'm fighting myself. I'm going, fucking hell, I want to go on that bus and say, who are you talking to? So I then open the door again and get in the car and see if I get in the car. I was fucking raging because I couldn't believe it. I was like, we're 11 points clear in third place. We've got 7 games. We're not getting caught. We've got a Scottish Cup semi-final against Rangers in a couple of weeks. We've done well this year. You shouldn't be calling me that, but it's because we lost a game of football. And that moment there, I remember speaking to Yvonne and I says, this might be my last year. This might be my last season here. I'm not taking that. I'm not getting called names just because we lost a game of football. Just not having that.
Imagine you turned into Denzel Washington, leather 25 on the bus.
Fucking hell, I know. Don't know who was on the bus, to be fair. It was the Tinted Windies. Might have been 3 people or something like that. So.
Do you think football is the only job that happens to people?
Especially in a sporting industry anyway. And I've never seen anything like it.
Even rugby. Rugby's like a team sport and they don't get that.
No.
Tennis players definitely don't get it. Golfers might get the odd shout of that because some of them are whatever, but the abuse we take in football is frightening. I don't care what anybody says. And see, if I hear another person saying, you just need to accept it, that's football. No, it's not. That's not. I wouldn't. If an electrician came to my door and left a wee bit of a wire, I would, when he walked back and say, you're a fucking wanker, you. I wouldn't do that to you. I mean, they'd fucking, they'd probably knock me out, to be fair.
There is one thing on social media that's bad enough, but doing it in somebody's faces.
I was subjected to that. And I tossed and turned whether I should come on here and be as open about that. But I'm thinking, this needs to be spoken about. People need to see that the pressure of the job gets to you and getting battered all the time. It's not nice. You're like, fucking hell. I don't want to be coming to my work getting called names just for fucking losing a game of football.
Who did you tell first that you want to leave?
Andrew McKinley. And I started crying. I started crying when I told him the relief when I said to him, Andrew, time's up. And he's like, what, really? And I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. The emotion of saying, this isn't for me. This isn't for me anymore. And we cuddled and he's like, listen, it's a brave decision. Because I left with no job. I was on a good salary. I've currently got no income at the moment. I'm not earning any money. But do I regret it? Absolutely not. 100%. I know it was the right decision. I'm much better placed with my kids, much better placed with my wife. I can do things that I want. I'm watching games when I want. I'm not watching the game yesterday, I'm not really that bothered about the result. I want Hearts to beat Hibs, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sitting there getting upset that Hibs have won 0-0 up. Yeah. Whereas if I was working for Hearts, there's a couple of pictures going about when Hibs scored the goal against us, and there's a picture now like that, and that's obviously all over. And again, some of the fans battered me for that. Savvy shouldn't be acting like that. And I'm like, do you want me to do it? I take the results to heart. I want the team to do well. Yeah. I built the team, so I want it to do well.
Nazy came out and said he was disappointed in seeing you go, didn't he?
I think I helped Stephen a lot. I think we had a good relationship towards the end, and he knew that I wanted the best for him. And we had a conversation where, when we were both getting it tight, especially after that AGM that Q&A that we'd done. I remember sitting him down in the office and saying, look, we need to become a band of brothers here. We need to unite, and we really need to show people what we're made of and prove people wrong, because a lot of people have got you sacked and me sacked because they think that we're not good enough. So let's fucking band together. It's like a motivational speech for him. Let's really get together and show people that we're good and we can do this job and we can kick on. Two young guys that are just trying their best, and I'd like to think that helped him. I'd like to think he knew that he had me there to help him whenever he needed it. So, but I knew for my own sake, I knew it was time for me to go.
Who is the best in the world at that job? Who's anybody around that's really good?
Dan Ashworth, you would say.
Ashworth,
you'd say Dan, wouldn't you? He's the one that's getting the
salary. He's on at Man U now, so
is it incredible?
I think they reported something mental. I can't remember exactly what the figures was, but I think England wanted him as well, didn't
he?
He was at England, didn't he?
Yeah, he was at England.
Have you met him?
Aye, I know Dan well.
What makes him the best?
Brilliant communicator, very, very mellowed, very calm, different to me. Whereas I'm reactive. I accept I'm reactive to things, especially if you're fucking calling me names. I'm going to say something to you. I don't like that. I think Dan's probably, but again, he was doing this job when there was no social media, when there was none of that criticism. He was doing it at West Brom 15 years ago. So he was able to just build up what he thought was the right way of working. He's in West Brom, he's went to England, then went to Brighton, then went to Newcastle. But again, some of the foreign ones are brilliant. Some of the German boys and things like that, they sit on the bench with the manager.
Is that Sally? He's a pain in the ass.
Bastard.
Sally Hamisic.
Flick hates him.
That's
Watch
right.
the Bayern documentary. He walks in the dressing room and Flick just walks straight by him.
There we go.
Because he was getting involved with the team and all that and talking to the team while Flick's sitting in the dressing room.
See, I don't think you should do that.
100%.
So what would you say is the main, if just to end it, what is the main aspect to that? What should be the main things that you're doing?
For me, the sporting director, you're there to oversee, you're there to protect the manager, help the manager, make sure the recruitment department's working, functioning properly to sign the right players. But you're also, if you've got a women's team, you're there to do the exact same for your women's manager. For your B team, you're there to make sure that they're happy with how they're performing. At the end of the day, it's the result on the Saturday or the Sunday that matters, isn't it? Whether people like that or not, you need to win on a Saturday. If you don't win on a Saturday, people start to scrutinise you, question you. So it's making sure that you have the best things available to you, environment to win on the Saturday. And I'd like to think that we done that with the 18s and the B team and the women's first team and the men's first team. That the women's first team, we've not spoken about that a lot, but when I went in, they were finishing bottom of the league. Ava's now led them to 2 fourth place finishes in the last, and that's again, there's Celtic, Rangers, and there's Glasgow City. They're the institutional clubs in that league. Can they compete with them? But now, come back to your point, Ava's a brilliant manager, tactically brilliant.
You've just proved my point.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
Had a few bad shouts the last couple of weeks. That one saved us.
No, she's excellent. So she drove that team to be what it is now, and again, her eye for a player is brilliant as well. And I think if a manager's got a good eye for a player.
What would be a typical thing that a manager would come and speak to you about?
Oh, it could be anything. It could be Andy Halliday's contract. I want to get Andy a new deal. Or it could be the pitches are shite, which is often the case at the Orium. Sometimes the pitches wouldn't be great, so he'd be annoyed at that. Or
like hotels and that. Do you need
pitches are weird at the Orium, I thought. They would go for being brilliant to brutal.
Is that real training on it though?
Aye.
It's like
plus they're still they're good surfaces. They're no played on miles worse, trained on miles worse. But
what's DL Park like compared to that?
Again, 3 pitches, and similar to the Orium. Like, one's really good, one maybe not so much. But for the most part, they're really good.
Aye.
So like hotels, you sort of that?
I haven't sorted the hotels. I had Claire Cowan, head of operations, who I'm sure Andy would tell us brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely help you out in any way you want. Anything you need, cars, flats, whatever.
Do you need to speak to parents on that? B team parents and
signing players and things like that. If parents wanted to come in, we'd talk about education as well. If some of the kids wanted to do further education, we had the Balerno, the high school, that it was our own performance school.
Right.
So I was involved in that. Then the academy director, the under-18s coach. I'd like to go about and speak to them and let them see me and talk to me and understand that I'm not just sitting up here with these first team guys. I will come speak to you. I will build a relationship with you. Like, people commented at times, I would sit with Naisy and all his staff for one meal for lunch, and then the next day I would sit with all the academy staff. And then the next day I would not come in with they two and I'd wait for later, and I'd go with the women's team and sit with all her staff. Just so they could see that I'm trying to spread myself as far as I can here, so you know that I'm here to help. But and then in the end up, it took its toll on me. There's no doubt in that. I just got to a point where I was like, fucking hell, this is murder. This
sounds like a hard job, doesn't it?
Oh,
there's a lot of people want to do it now, isn't there?
Oh,
man.
That seems a lot.
You see more like current pros start today, like sort of coaches and whatnot.
Aiden's doing it,
day sporting director jobs, technical director, that side of it. I think the recruitment stuff would interest me, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely, I would as well.
I wanted it. See when, because I'd done a level 5 technical director's course with English FA. So I studied for it. I wanted the job, and do you know what I mean? You feel like you want to walk into a room and you want people to say, oh fuck, there's Joe Savage, Hearts sporting director. I thought I wanted that. I thought I wanted the power. I thought I wanted that responsibility. I thought I liked that. Until it happened, people would come in, and if you'd been beaten this Saturday, you could see them fucking saying stuff about you.
When did that happen? Because it used to be the manager that would get it now.
Yeah,
I mean, it does seem like board members and head of recruitment, everyone just seems to get it now, doesn't they?
Aye.
Gavin Stacking's iPad got it tight for a first season, remember?
We blamed
iPads were getting it.
His laptop
got it stinking, aye.
And then just your new venture going forward, mate, tell us a wee bit about it.
Equaliser free.
What? What did he say?
Equaliser 3.
Equaliser 40. So yeah, I'm just trying to see what I can do in terms of being a middleman, connecting with clubs and agents to put players, maybe investment, maybe if clubs need to come in and look at their structure and how I think. Because I've spoken to a lot of sporting directors about the jobs that they do. And like, what was the reporting lines? Who done this? Who done that? And a lot of them are glorified heads of recruitment. A lot of them didn't have the responsibilities that I had. So maybe if a club was different, it might be different for me. It was just at Hearts, it was all encompassing. Everything was there, and I was like, wow, this is really, really tough. So that's what I'm trying to do, is maybe help people like that. Maybe help aspiring sporting directors, and probably get out there and speak to people and say, this isn't this dream job that you all think it is. It's not what you think you're walking into, where you're just sitting and you don't need to have to deal with all these difficult conversations. Because that's another thing, I felt the better that we done as a club, the harder it became for me, because then people would be coming to me wanting more.
Yeah, and you've not got budgets to do
and
sort
just
of
wanting
things.
this and wanting that, and you'd be like, can I do that? I can't. And I'm a wee guy for a council estate, so I want to help you. I'm desperate to say, okay, I'll give you that, You want a wee bit extra here? Okay, I can do that. There's no way it works. That's not business. Yeah. It's not proper business. That's the type of business that makes you go out of business. So I had to learn that in the deep end, and then I realised, wow, this is just it's taking over my life.
Best player you watched live?
Oh, good question.
While scouting?
While scouting. Oh, listen, because I've seen Messi and all that, but I wasn't scouting him. I've seen Barcelona play, been to Spain. Remember going to watch Bayern Munich against Dynamo Zagreb in Zagreb. We were watching Ivo Pinto, the right back, and Lewandowski was playing, and he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just, do you know that way? Just Velcro. Any time ball on his feet, just stuck. No issues. Like surface didn't bother him. He just took a touch, play and spin. Movement was brilliant. Just remember saying, wow, there's levels to this game, and thinking, he's brilliant.
Dynamo Zagreb's in our club, but it's just some that players.
Aye, top, 3.5 million population as well.
Any other questions?
Oh, he's been outstanding.
Joe, it's been great insight, mate. Thanks very much.
Joe, as well. I like that. I appreciate it.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Joe. Thank you.